Oh boy. Starting off with a long morning. The grandest and grandest and grandest to everyone who's in earshot. I'm actually doing some SEAMOSS for a customer and for myself and my daughter actually too. And I decided to give away a jar for someone that may need it or someone that wants to try it. You just need to pay for shipping, and that would be it. I just did two SEAMOSS for my customers. I have one more for another customer, and then I am going to do a giveaway. So if anyone's interested in a particular blend, I'm going to do that. Right now, I'm going to do actually bladderwrack with pine needle and what else? I'm putting in there for her. Some Corella, something that is good for um, cleansing. Natural chlorophyll. Natural chlorophyll. Natural chlorophyll. So, get my gloves on. I ran out of gloves. These ones are smaller. Lord, I'm getting everything together here. Give me a second, guys. So, yeah, we're going to do, I got enough for like 3 more batches. I already made the ones I needed to. So, I said I got extra. So, with the extras, we'll be doing a little giveaway. So, if you do need it, if you're a person that uses it, and you want to pay for the shipping, you can get this today. So let me show you guys. Let me get the blend up. I'm doing regular SEAMOSS with a blend of Irish SEAMOSS, which I think is really good. Do a little more of the Irish than I do the regular SEAMOSS, but it's still a great blend. All right, and then let me get the water. It's trying hard to have everything in the spot where it's ready. So just in case, so you guys can see what's going on here. Let me get the other batch ready. I can do at least 2 at a time. And a little bit more. I'm gonna put a little bit more in here as well. Okay, this needs a little bit more. All right, let me get a napkin. So this is the best way to make your SEAMOSS, guys. So this, I'm gonna do a little pine needle. This is pine needle. Putting the pine needle in there. I'm also gonna do, should I do St. John's wort for her? We're gonna do, because of anxiety, I'm gonna use the St. John's wort. So I'm using the pine cone, which is good for for vitamin A. It's also good for the eye. It's good for the digestive system. And I'm gonna do for mental health and anxiety the St. John's wort. This is what we're going to get set for that. So, 1 second. Stir for that. So let's talk about it. So this is pine needle and St. John's wort. These two things together are for eye health, mental health, depression, anxiety, so on and so forth. So we're doing this, and this is going to be the what I use to blend the SEAMOSS. I am doing SEAMOSS and Irish moss, regular SEAMOSS and Irish moss blend. And this will have pine cone and St. John's wort. I'm also going to do bladderwrack for the other customer. So let me get that. Put a little bladderwrack. This stuff is strong, believe it. It's strong. You don't need too much of it. So we're going to do bladderwrack. You'll see how astringent it is. With this small thing, it's going to be enough for the whole jar, right? This is going to go in there. We're going to make sure that it blends in with the water. This will go in as well. This is our bladderwrack. This is all we're using. You see how it's very strong. You don't need a whole bunch of it. We're doing a 16-ounce jar of the SEAMOSS. This again is our pine cone. So we're going to be doing this particular blend. It's going to have pine cone. I'm trying to wait till this cools down a little bit because it'll make the SEAMOSS kind of puff up because it already swells. So I don't want it to be too swollen. I want it to be condensed and concentrated. So we are going to be using pine cone and St. John's wort. This is for eye health. It's also for mental health, depression, anxiety. If you're a person that has a lot of issues going on with like anxiety, anything of the sort, then what you'd be able to do is use this. Okay? That's the perfect blend. Then the bladderwrack. We're going to also add the bladderwrack into this blend. Okay? Then we have one more. All right. This one, if a person is having pain, inflammation, the SEAMOSS itself works really good. I hope you guys can hear me. I didn't even think that I might not be close to the mic, but the SEAMOSS, let me sit down a little bit. The SEAMOSS works really good with certain things, right? So what we're going to do, I'm going to do this one with willow bark, okay? Willow bark. Pouring the willow bark in there, guys. I'm also going to do a little bit of milk thistle to help with digestion. And a little of the willow bark with the St. John's wort. All right. Little willow bark, the St. John's wort. And let's get our blend going. All right. So, willow bark and St. John's wort. This one is for pain and anxiety. Willow bark, St. John's wort. This will be strained. We won't be putting the herbs inside. Granddad, sis, what's up, sis? Doing a little SEAMOSS. Oh, you know what, Empress, you might want to try it. maybe you could be my giveaway today. I see nobody else in the chat says they ain't coming in for this. They want to hear some other stuff, but I got some info for y'all later. But yes, sis, I am doing this one, sis. This SEAMOSS, I'm doing a giveaway. I'll probably do 2 today, sis, because I made like way extra. I sold way more than I needed to. I had a couple of customers that wanted SEAMOSS, and I made one for my daughter. And now I have some left. So I could still make it, to sell for later. But hey, since I've already gotten it made, I said I'm going to keep it. This particular brand, yes, sis. So email me your information, sweetheart. Just send me your where you want me to send it to, boo. And then I got you. I will ship it out. The only thing I'm requesting is the shipping and handling. So since you're close, you're down here by me, it's probably going to be about maybe $5, sis. Literally $5 or $6 for the shipping and handling. Once I get it shipped out, then I'll let you know. You can cash out me after whatever. I'll tell you, it's probably like $5, $6. Sometimes it, it depends because you're kind of close. So this one is going to be perfect, sis. You're going to love it because it's for the pain and stuff. Black Wolf, Grand Day, Furious. Yes, sis. You're gonna be pleased with this. So I'm doing the Irish SEAMOSS blend with a little bit of regular SEAMOSS. And then we're gonna do yours after we let it cool down, since I gotta let it cool a little bit because it'll get the SEAMOSS real thick. Now, something else I'm gonna add in there for you. Let me see, since I'm doing this for sis. So I'm gonna get rid of heavy metals. This one is good. Should I do acai? I think I'm gonna do a little acai for you, sis. Acai berry, which is really good for you as well. I want to try something else for you. Let me see when it comes to that pain. I'm gonna do some moringa. What else I want to try a little bit of? For pain and inflammation, maybe I should try a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna do that. All right, sis. Now, just so you know what you got in yours, sis, I'm gonna show you. This is ashwagandha, sis. Let me go grab a scoop. So I know exactly how much. Because I'm looking for the measure cup. Okay, so sis, this is yours right here. Getting you popping right now, boo. We're doing ashwagandha. Sis, ashwagandha is very, very, very good. It's high in antioxidants. It's high with helping you keep stable. We're going to do approximately a teaspoon and maybe a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to do a heaping teaspoon in there for you. Everything that I'm putting in here is for pain, sis. Remember, I'm saying it right now what I'm using. We're using ashwagandha. I'm also going to put you some moringa in there. A heaping spoon of moringa, which is going to be enough to distribute throughout the entire container. And then I'm going to put you some ackee berry in there. Says ackee berry is high in antioxidants. It's also good for pain. It's high in minerals. Ackee berry powder. All these are powders, sis. All right. And then we're also going to add you a little bit of turmeric. Turmeric is awesome, sis, for swelling, inflammation, stuff of that nature, right? So we're going to do a nice heaping spoonful of the turmeric for you. And then, let's see if this cooled down a little bit. Not so bad. We can at least pour it in and let it mix together. Now, sis, I do have like coconut water. Let me get a strainer for this, actually. Get a tea bag. I have coconut water. I have mango, blueberry, a couple of other flavors. The only thing, I don't like to always add flavors because it makes it last for like a shorter time. So what we could do, I'll send you, maybe I'll send you an actual extra or something. So boom, this is what we're doing, guys. So you guys see that I have mixed the tea. We made the tea. This is how I usually do my blends, guys. I make sure that everything is fortified in there. Yeah. Yes, you can take it on an empty stomach as soon as you get up. Yes, and it releases, yes. It releases all the antioxidants and things from your body that shouldn't be in there, removing those things and getting them out the way. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to strain this. This is what we're straining it with. Can I move the... Let me see. don't know if you guys can see. Still can't see too good. But anyway, I'm straining it, sis, and putting it in here, right? So you're getting everything in there, and it's gonna go right in there. And this is what we're gonna use to blend it. It's been soaking. You see your tea, if you can see it, it's all blended, so you good. So we're gonna put it down in there. Let it strain. Yeah. This is how I usually do my SEAMOSS when I want to add additional herbs, guys. A lot of times people, they may put certain things in there, but we're going to make sure that we have everything we need in here. That's what I like to do. I like it to be fully fortified. So here we go. Now, there you go, sis. It's kind of steaming a little bit, so I'm going to let it sit for a minute, babe, before we blend it up. This is Empress Holbert's blend right here. What I like to do, sis, is put you a couple of black seeds in there as well. So hold on, boo. I might do that. I think I am going to do that. Put your little black seed in there, and then we're going to use some honey to give you a little sweetener. All right, sis. So we're gonna put you a little bit of black seeds. This is not, you only need like 7 black seeds a day, guys, and it keeps your immune system up. 7 black seeds a day with a teaspoon of honey. So, sis, I'm covering you. You see that? We got you, boo. We got you. We got you. And we're gonna add a little bit of honey to it. Let's do that. Told you I like to use clover honey. It's like one of my favorites. It's so sweet. It is so freaking good. All right, we're gonna put you some honey in there, sis, too. Sweeten that baby up with them black seeds. You're gonna be immune ready. You hear me? Your system gonna be right. We're gonna get some of that pain out of you. All of that, sis. That's what we gonna do. All right, so okay, just cool down enough. All right, let's see. Let's get it blended. Oh, nope, I didn't close it right. Hold on, guys. This may even be the wrong lid. Hold on a second. Yep, it is. Let me go over here and get the right lid. All right, there we go. Wish I had space over here for my blender. This is so annoying. But okay, here we go. All right, sis. Oh man, I done did too much right now. Y'all gonna have to hold on. I'm making a mess. I haven't used this blender in a while. Trying to get something over here small enough for you guys to see. And I'm making a damn mess. I think I might need to get the regular blender for this. Last night I used this, and I think this isn't the right one. The other one is in the dishwasher. Dang it. Okay, it must be this one. All right. All right, we got our blend going either way. I'll put this mess in a second. I hate a mess. So we got you going right here, sis. I want to actually add some more SEAMOSS to it to get it a little thicker. I don't like the thinness. Not that I don't like it, but I want to make sure you have enough stuff in there. So we're going to blend that right. So let's put this over here. We're going to hold that there. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this container, but it ain't acting right. It might be, I have too many different things I be trying to do at one time. At one time, guys, hold on a second. Moving too fast. Here she goes. There we go. Now we ready. Now y'all can see the action. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Now, if this ain't the right one, I don't know what to do because I just used it last night. There's too many different containers. I should have stuck with my big, large one, but of course I didn't. All right, here we go. I tell you, I've been having like some kind of negative stuff going on lately. It's been annoying for me, guys. I tell you, I'm making a mess right now, peeing me off. Okay. It's still doing it. That's how I just got to get it out. There we go. All right, there we go. Let's see if she's thick enough. If she's not thick enough, sis, we're going to add a little more to it. Oh, yeah. That's it, sis. You probably can't see it, but that's it, sis. Get you a good teaspoon each day. All right. You're good to go. There you go, sis. There you go. Shipping out. I usually ship out every 2 weeks when it comes to orders, but with this, you have to ship it out right away. So I'm going to refrigerate it, and I'll be shipping this out possibly tomorrow. Sis, tomorrow. Okay. And there we go. There we go, sis. I got you. Let me refrigerate this. Hold on. Actually, I got to move this stuff so I can get this cleansed. Make sure I'm not using this wrong bottle again. Boy, that's annoying. I'll be right with you guys. That's the wrong one. This is the right one. Okay. Make sure I got the right one. Rinse this out because I'm going to do a different blend. Perfect. Give me a second, guys. I'm actually rinsing this one so that we can get to the next one. Refrigerated Sister SEAMOSS. I can get ready to ship this out to her. Now, Empress, what we need you to do, boo, is try that and make sure, yes, sis, make sure I got you, boo. Get some of that pain out your way. That's what we about to do. And me, I got to get this little mess cleaned up. It's not a big mess, but I can't stand a mess. So, hold on, guys. Let me get this out the way. This thing's acting crazy. I'd have been better off with the blender. But I'm trying to save space, and this thing acting stupid. Yeah, let me actually clean it up too, because this stuff spilled all over. Hold on a second, guys. 1 second. I appreciate y'all's patience. Yeah. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome. Just getting all this cleaned up. I can't stand the mess. I don't like nothing sticky. And this stuff is spilling. If I don't get it now, I'll be gonna forget by doing something else. So appreciate y'all patience with me. Just hold on. Right. I might even do a second one because it looks like I got quite a bit left. I made mine already, so my daughter's got hers. So let's see. Let's see. All right. I had to come back here and get the right size, everything, guys. You see that? Y'all see what happened with me early? I got to do my daughter still. So I'm glad we had a chance to start over. I am going to get everything set up. I got sis her pain moss out the way. We got her SEAMOSS that has immune building and everything in it. It also has stuff for pain because sis has some knee pain. So we're going to try and make sure we can assist her with that. Yeah. Okay. We're about set here. Able to use those. I don't need those. I don't need those. I've used that. All right. So this is the last one. We're doing the pine needle. The pine needle and the willow bark. The heat make it swell up some more too. So we're doing pine needle, willow bark, and bladderwrack in this one for my daughter. And let me move some of these containers. I may put, actually, I am going to put some moringa and ashwagandha in hers as well. Yeah, moringa and ashwagandha and the bladderwrack. And yeah. So let's see here. Get our SEAMOSS. Okay. More. All right. So here goes the bladderwrack. Putting the bladderwrack in there. And then, see, I'm going to use the same sifter so I don't have to waste it. And then, all right. I'm going to pour, this is all, yeah. We're going to pour our tea in there, which is everything we need for this particular one. And it's covered in the SEAMOSS. And she get a little more water. I think I'm going to drink the rest of this. I will drink that just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to put her a little bit of ashwagandha, a heaping spoon, and moringa powder. Ashwagandha, anti-inflammatory, very strong. All right, 9 o'clock. Okay. And I'm going to put her a teaspoon, heaping teaspoon of moringa, also very beneficial, high vitamins, high iron, so on and so forth. And she needs that right now, so make sure she's fortified with everything she needs in that area to take care of my babies. Okay, so make hers a little thicker. We put her in a smoothie, sis. You'll be able to just scoop it out. If you want, you can scoop it right out the jar, sis. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, this thing is acting real stupid today. I don't know why. I'm having too many problems, but okay, I think it's good now. Oh, I unplugged it. Duh. I'm like, what's going on? This thing ain't doing nothing. I unplugged it early when I cleaned it. Hold on a second, guys. All right. Anything going on with you right now? I have no more SEAMOSS. I will make another plan for someone else. Just let me know the issue that you have going on with you, and then I can take care of that. All right, good to go. So my baby get up, she'll be able to have this. She's like, Mommy, you haven't made no SEAMOSS in a while. I need some SEAMOSS. I'm like, okay, boo, I'm gonna make some. Then my customer wanted some, so everything was perfect to get that done at one time. And I had enough to offer someone else. So yes. All right, guys. So this is the one I'm making for my daughter. I have my customers out the way. I've given away one for Empress. And anybody else that is interested, you just have to pay for your shipping. I do have enough to make another blend. Let me know what's going on with you, what you need, and we will be able to take care of it. You guys see? This one for my baby. Perfect blend, smooth. I didn't put anything in there. A lot of times I'll add stuff to it. I actually like beets. Beetroots is really good. It's very, very good, believe it or not, guys. But yeah. I actually have enough to make one more blend, guys. If not, I will just be putting it on my Facebook page for someone later to get this small blend. So let me get this. It's actually a small one, but that's okay. Somebody I'm sure would like to take advantage of trying a little bit of SEAMOSS if you never tried it before. And make sure that you are all set with everything you needed for that. So what I'm gonna do, what else? What am I gonna put in this one? I'm gonna make a pretty one. Ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. This is just gonna be an immune building one. I'm gonna put elderberry powder. Elderberry powder, guys. It is very good for the immune system and keeping everything straight with your immune system, okay? So we're going to do elderberry. What else I want to put in there? And I'm going to do turmeric and ginger. Let's do that. Organic turmeric and organic ginger and elderberry. So we talking about immune fighting. So this, I'm making this. Anybody that sees this later, hit my email if you're interested. Doing a heaping spoon of turmeric. I did 2 spoons of elderberry, actually. And I'm going to do a nice spoon of the organic ginger as well to put in there. All right. And, all right, let's see. I'm all set with that. Am I putting anything else? No, I put just a wee bit of this Wilbur because it's got high vitamins A in it. I don't want to waste it. I was going to sip it, but I'll just add it. Okay. Good to go. Let's see. It's a teeny bit of bladder rag right here I'm going to use. All right, that bladder rag. Don't want to waste the bladder rag now. Come on, we can't do that. Okay, so, all right. This is going to be a small little blend. Actually needs a little water in it to blend it good. All right. And if anyone's interested, love to you. Yes, love to you, brother. So, make sure that blend is going to go good. I need all the elderberry and stuff in there. Okay, great. Yes, your aloe is very good. I buy aloe all the time. I drink aloe. Hold on, some of this powder is sticking to the side because it's not full. Make sure we get everything in there. Hold on a second. Yep, we want all that elderberry, all of that. Okay. All right. Oh, this looks really good too. My daughter might say, I want that one too. She loves turmeric and ginger. It's so good for you. Okay. So yeah, this one is about ready. Actually, you don't even need much to it. Okay. We want to put black seeds and honey and milk. seasoned honey, but that's all right. All right, this blend, guys, I'm gonna save. Let's get all this stuff out the way. We're gonna have to get into some learning today. All right, get all this out the way. Anyone that sees this later, if you would definitely like this one for inflammation, pain, joint pain, so on and so forth. This is what that one is good for. So if you have any of those issues, you can get that sample. I am offering it. I'm offering it for free. I'm just walking and talking like I'm walking around with the microphone. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I said that one, you guys will be able to, someone can get that. All you need to do is hit my email. Make sure you're paying for your shipping and take care of it. I'm going to just get this stuff cleaned up, guys, before we get into some information right quick, because I got something for y'all still. Y'all already know. It ain't going to end with just this. Cleansing everything up. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Make sure my space is clean. Can't stand a mess. All right. Get this out the way, back up. Coming. You guys are being patient. I'll probably start a whole new live, so you don't have to really hang around if you don't want. Just wanted to get this out. All right, guys. You guys have been so patient, waiting around, seeing what your girl doing. So we are all set. I got everything cleaned up. I will be right back. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll be right with you. Give me about 2 seconds. Yes, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you so much. Yes. All right, guys. I know y'all like, where's sis go? Where's sis go? I'm sorry, but my customer actually came to pick up their package. So that was perfect timing. So I can get that out the way. I don't have to be stopped again. Y'all know, yes, the alkaline diet works. There are lots of things that we can do to make sure that our health is in order, guys. And when doing so, um, we're in a better spirit. We're in a better mindset, a better space. I wanted to go over this information with y'all. Where is it? Okay, so yeah, we're in a better mind space. We're able to, I guess, handle things differently when we're at peace of mind. Having a peace of mind can take you through a lot. It can keep you from like stressing yourself out. It can keep you from going over into areas that are not beneficial to you because you are focused on the wrong things. So we're gonna look a little bit at, excuse me, guys, some things. Yeah, I drank some tea and I had a little bit of my SEAMOSS this morning, and it's actually like I had some gas or something in me. I didn't even know. It's like pulling all of that out. So y'all gotta excuse me. I wanted to get into okay, the church policy in England. Let's do that. All right, get to the business. Let's get to the business. Oh, sure. Okay. We've been talking a lot about these these religions and like the things of that nature, right? When it comes to that, I am really kind of. I think I'm getting a little frustrated with the lies that people believe and why they cannot look into themselves to come into real truth and understanding when it comes to certain things. So, let me see. Okay, we read yesterday a little bit about the uh, the evidence of the ecclesiastics and some other things that were going on when it came to the religious aspects and so on and so forth. All these things. So what we're going to do today, we're going to read a little bit more into that information. I was doing that. Let me check in on my chat. Great day, chat. Great day, Juan, Ricardo, of course, Empress, Black Wolf. Shout out to you guys. Zoe, what's going on, brother? What's up, twin? Juan Torres, my other brother, what's going on, bro? Furious, what's up? What's up? Rob McCoy, thanks for joining us, brother. Anuki, our pale brother, what's going on? Grandma, what's going on, sis? All right. So, yes, let's get to it. We're going to read a little bit about this, right? I will drop Suda Natural, grandest to you. You already know. Risings, grand risings. If anybody who's interested, who's interested in, let me see, in this SEAMOSS with additives for pain and inflammation, make sure you hit my email. I mean, I could easily sell it, but I don't mind giving it away. I'll do those two giveaways. I haven't done a giveaway in a while, so I'm fine with that. So if you are interested, make sure you guys hit my email for that. This would be one with additions for pain, turmeric, organic ginger, and also ashwagandha. Also helping when it comes to like anxiety or depression. So if you're interested in trying that, I do have about an 8-ounce supply of that you can try. That would last you for a couple of weeks, and you can see the difference with that. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, so I do have to go back. I didn't want to skip, but let me go back because it's not going to make sense if I read there. Okay, history of the church polity in England, right? And we're going to go right into it. It says supremacy of the Jewish kings, original constitution of the Christian church. The clergy became sacerdotal. Listen, some of these words, guys, if I don't know it, I can't pretend. I think it says sacerdotal, whatever that is, caste, the growth of the episcopal power, the extinction of the rights of the laity and the emerald church, the canons of the general council and the Anglo-Saxon church, the supremacy of the priesthood. The principal object of this is to set forth and vindicate the constitution of the national church of this country. But inasmuch as the Church of England is an institution of ancient origin, reformed in the 16th century and brought to its present state of excellence by subsequent improvements in its constitution. I do not propose to enter immediately upon the consideration of its present condition or constitution. Some acquaintances with its history as well as with the polity of the primitive church is desirable, and therefore I propose to pursue the following method. Commencing with the foundation of Christianity, I shall briefly consider the original constitution of the Christian church. Notice some of the changes which take place in its polity. So it's showing again, church and religion kind of go hand in hand, right? He says he HC wants. Yes, yeah. You said I'm interested, but shipping, man, I suddenly feel all right. You know what? You go get it, bro. The shipping is usually about $5 or $6, or somewhere of the sort. It's probably pretty heavy because of the glass jar, but generally it's not that expensive for the shipping, bro. Don't you even start there. Okay, so Grand Rising, Suzanne. Grand Rising says, okay, so before I proceed to consider the constitution of the Christian church, did I skip something? No, okay. It will be useful if I, let me drop the link as well, just in case anybody wants to jump up. You guys know I would love to welcome anyone to come assist me when it comes to going over disseminating this information. You guys are definitely free to do so at your will. Let's see. If I make a few observations concerning the ecclesiastical polity of the Jews, more especially as the Reformed and Anglican Church appeals to the Jewish commonwealth, in justification of the supremacy exercised by the English sovereignty in the ecclesiastical affairs. In no respect does the Jewish differ from the Christian church, more strongly than in the creation by Moses of a sacerdotal body. Sacerdotal. I don't know what this word is, and I'm so unfamiliar. And I know I'm saying it wrong because it does not sound right, but I'm trying to make it sound like the way it should. And even pronunciating the word, it's not sounding right. A sacerdotal body, I've never heard of that. Who alone were to exercise spiritual functions, whereas the divine founder of the Christian church made no such provision. For his society, Moses appointed the tribe of Levi to act as the spirituality of the nation. They alone were to perform the ceremonies of religion. For others to presume so to do was an offense of greater character. They were to copy the law, of which they were the guardians, and in doubtful cases explain it. They were to be generally the learned man, the clerks of the commonwealth, the oldest son of the particular family in this sacerdotal tribe, was to be the head of the priestly castle. The maintenance of this important body of men was not left to the zeal or the caprice of the people. A liberal endowment was provided to enable them to devote themselves exclusively to their sacerdotal. I swear this word is stumping me. The sacerdotal, maybe sacerdotal the sacerdotal functions, and the learned pursuits. Many directions were given by Moses of public worship, for public worship. The rites and ceremonies to be performed, the dress of the priest, the duties of the high priest, priests and Levites, the places, days, and things to be esteemed sacred, all were carefully prescribed. Thus, the legislator of the Jews did not leave it to the people to develop their ecclesiastical policy. Why is that? For that high task, the multitude camped around Sinai, not yet settled in the worship of the one God, were unfit. They were children to be preserved from the polytheism of the surrounding nations and taught the first lesson of religion, that there is one God, the maker of all things. But although there was amongst the Jews a sacerdotal body. Dang, I think I'm gonna have to look that up because this is really stomping me. And none but those belonging to that body were to perform priestly function. It is very clear that when the nation settled itself under a king, he was supreme in the matters, ecclesiastical as well as civil. And the priestly council, with the high priest himself, were subordinate to the monarchy. This subordinacy of the priesthood to the supreme magistrate of the nation has been forgotten by those who have appealed in favor of a Christian priesthood, with two orders of bishop, priest, and deacon. To the Jewish church, with its high priest, and Levite, the Jewish priesthood did not enjoy the supremacy of these spiritual matters. This is pretty interesting. So going into what we went over yesterday when it was talking about these religions and state and how everything kind of goes into each other. Now, this is kind of showing us the same thing. It is going into the religion of and state, and it's talking about the king and, all these other things and clergy. And yeah, I'm trying to get an understanding of this. Let's see. That the kings of Israel were supreme in the ecclesiastical as well as civil matters. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Hold on. Oh, Felicia says she wants the one for joint pain. All right, sis. All right. So we got Empress Holbert, and we also have Felicia Wort, the two people that will be receiving the free SEAMOSS today. Felicia, I'm going to send my put my email in the chat, darling. Make sure you hit my email and just put that SEAMOSS giveaway in the subject line so that I'll know this is you. And that I'll need your information, sweetheart, and I will check to see what the shipping will be to you. And that's the only thing you'll need to pay for, sweetheart, is the shipping, but the everything else will be free for you. All right, let me see. All right, Sister Soul, main radio. All right, babe. So yes, just send me an email, Felicia, and I got you, sweetheart. I'll be shipping that out tomorrow. It is refrigerated now. I put this in the refrigerator as well. And then I'll freeze some ice packs. That way they can, make sure they get to you guys in, the best condition. All right, perfect. All right. I'm glad to have assisted you. So you can try that, sweetheart, and see how well it works for you. And if it works beneficially for you, then, hey, you can always order it at any time, okay? I do allow the regular SEAMOSS or additions. I will put anything in there. I have like every herb there is pretty much. So if it's from pain, inflammation, mental health, that's another thing. I didn't even mention it to you guys. I got right into this, guys. Real quick, let me say this. If you have any type of like pain or inflammation or anything, this is what the pain inflammation one that I just did, right? But if you have like mental health issues, do you know I can do a SEAMOSS that can actually help with mental health? I have a customer that has mental health issues and they use it for that. When I use it, I'm always doing everything for everybody else, so I don't always take care of myself the way I should. But when I am using my SEAMOSS regularly, I do make myself one with the anxiety. I just made it today since I was making some batches. I made one for myself and my daughter, so I'm going to start to use it. what happens is the one for the anxiety, it actually helps me a lot. It keeps me calmer. I don't get upset as much. Things don't bother me as much. I don't let things like get to me. For the last few months with all this stuff with me moving and stuff, I haven't been doing anything. But had I been taking it, I would have been able to be a lot more calmer and not reacting to things had I been on my regimen. So yeah, a lot of things are beneficial when you're doing things you need to do. Okay. All right, so let's do that. I'm gonna make sure I do that. I'm gonna start. I didn't today. I've been drinking my teas and things, so I haven't started. But I did make mine last evening, and I will have it this evening for my evening meal. I'm probably gonna do SEAMOSS and a salad, and try and get everything going to start me for tomorrow, so I can get a good balance. Yeah. So that's what's going on. All right, so where are we at? We find the most religion of the directing the sacred rites. Writing hymns to be chanted in the temple services. What we talk about them hymns and the chanting and the hymns. Degrading priests, putting others into their places, teaching and commanding the priesthood, cleansing the temple, destroying the idols, in short, exercising unquestioning supremacy in the sacred things. Nor were their proceedings regarded as a usurpation. Priests and the Levites seem to have obeyed without scruple. Their prince's direction in the discharge of their priestly functions, the principality in church affairs, says Hooker. The priest neither had alone nor at all, but it was royal, the prerogative of the kings only. Therefore, the claim which has been made for the clergy of the Christian church that to them alone belong. See, here it goes again. I'm starting to have a brain fart. This is what happens a lot of times when my mind is my anxiety and stuff is going on. My sinuses is putting pressure on my mind and in my head, and it kind of disorientates me. But I am aware of it, and I'm on it. So give me just a second here to collect myself. All right. To them alone belong the making and the execution of ecclesiastical laws. Obtains no support in the practice of a nation which possessed by divine appointment that which the Christian church does not possess. A sacerdotal caste. Okay, I gotta look this up. The sacerdotal caste. I'm not even familiar with that. I don't know what that word is. Let's check it out. Let's check it out because I can't keep reading that and it's saying something and it means something and I am not getting it. So I'm gonna have to figure that out before I continue to go because I'm not getting it. It says a sacerdotal. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Sacerdotal. Sacerdotal. I think I read past it now. I don't even see the word. See, this is the brain part. This is the brain part. I'm definitely going to start my regimen tomorrow for my SEAMOSS. It is definitely helpful. So let's see. I just started like yesterday with my sinus issue. So you guys got to excuse me if I'm a little off today. Okay, let me see. Where's this word at? I just saw it and I want to look it up again. Proceeding regarding of this usurpation, the cleansing, the temple, destroying the idols, and exercising unquestioned supremacy, nor were these proceedings regarded and in usurpation. The priests and Levites seem to be obeying without scruple these princes directing in the discharge of their priestly functions. The principality in church affairs, says Hooker, the priests neither had alone nor at all, but it was the royal prerogative of the kings only. Therefore, the claim which had been made for the clergy of the Christian church, that to them alone belonged the making and executing the ecclesiastical laws, obtains no support in the practice of a nation which possessed by divine appointment that which the Christian church does not possess. A sacerdotal caste. There it is. Sacerdotal. We're gonna check this word out, see what the heck it means, because I don't get it. Okay, sacerdotal caste. This exercise of ecclesiastical supremacy by the Jewish kings can neither be regarded as the contrary to the divine intention nor a practice peculiar to the Hebrews. For it was the general persuasion of all nations which had attained some degree of civilization that rulers were to care for their religious as well as their temporal interests in their people, nor was the doctrine. Okay, so let's see what this particular thing is. This is sartorial, or what the heck it's saying? I don't know what it is actually. Sacerdotal caste. So let's see what that is. It says it's the priestly caste in a social group responsible for officiating over sacrifices and leading prayers or other religious functions. So they're the ones that were in charge, or they oversaw what was going on when it came to sacrifices. Okay, I get it now. They kept throwing that word in there. What's going on? What's up, David? David Bell. What's up, brother? Grandest. What's going on, Ghetto Clinic? Ghetto Child Inc. I'm going to say Ghetto Clinic, Lord. Ghetto Child. What's going on, brother? I'm having a little brain fart this morning, so you got to excuse me. Once again, my anxiety is up or something, and my sinus is pushing against my head, Lord. Yeah, I'm going to get myself together today, though. Start my regimen this evening. Yes, healing is voltage. Healing is energy. It is a current. It takes electricity to actually make things move. I'm having a little bit of an issue right now in a dysfunction because I don't have the proper energy right now. I've been fasting, and on top of the fasting I've been doing, my sinuses have been bothering me. So therefore, I'm having pressure in my head. When you have these type of things going on, it can cause a little disorientation. It's okay though. I can deal with it. It's not that bad. So yeah. So we did find out they're talking about this person that actually handles the sacrifices. Now we get it. Okay, so let's go on to the next page. It says, nor was the doctrine which now so widely prevails that rulers may not interfere with religion. It broached in this country at least until the 17th century. How come they're interfering with it now? Therefore, any Christian nation which has invested its chief magistrate with supreme ecclesiastical dominion over itself may appeal in justification to the practice of the Hebrew commonwealth. And unless it can be shown that some law or principle of Christianity forbids a nation so acting, it cannot be said that any divine law is violated. The Christian church, unlike that out of which it sprung, the most previously existing forms of religion, possess no priestly or sacerdotal caste. So no priest or anybody that was doing the sacrifices. Every time I see this word, it's so annoying right now. Its divine founder designed it to be confined to no land or a particular race. It was to be a Catholic society. Wherefore he ordained no sacred places, times, or things, but left his church at liberty to develop its own polity. That his followers might vary in according to the changes of time and circumstance. Such liberty has proved highly favorable in the spread of the Christian religion, and agreeable to the high dignity to which the head of the church designed his followers to be raised. They were all to be kings and priests unto God, all equality, consecrated to his service, all placed immediately in a common union with him. To this universal priestly character, the Christians, several of the early fathers, bear the witness. So Justin Martyr writes, "We are the true high priestly race of God, and God himself testifies, saying that in every place among the Gentiles, pure and acceptable sacrifices shall be offered to him." To the same effect, the erroneous writes, "All righteous persons have the dignity of priests." All righteous persons have the dignity of priests, right? So Tertullian, in whose time this grand ideal was growing, dim writes, in itself considered the laity
also have the right to administer the sacraments and to teach in the community. The word of God and the sacraments were by the grace of God communicated to all, and may therefore be communicated by all Christians as instruments of the divine grace. But the question here relates not barely to what is permitted in general, but also to what is expedient under existing circumstances. We may here use the words of St. Paul, as things are lawful for me, but all things, hold on. Are lawful for me, but all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. If we look at the order necessary to be maintained in the church, the laity are therefore to exercise their priestly right of administering the sacraments only when the time and the circumstances require it. Again, all Christians are now in the position of those who are priests under the Old Testament dispensation. Did you guys hear that? All Christians are now the position of a priest under the Old Testament. The particular Jewish priesthood was a prophetic type of the universal Christian priesthood. Ye are priests, being called for that purpose. The highest priest, the great priest of the Heavenly Father, Christ, has made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. Again, we shall be much mistaken if we imagine that what is unlawful for priests is allowed to the laity. Are not we laymen also priests? What makes a priest having that title? That title makes them better, or makes them closer to God, or makes them a better person? Is that what you know it's saying? Much love and appreciation to you as well, brother. Definitely. You know, I love you guys. You guys are like everything. You know, when you guys are out here and you're helping me, you're giving me information in my chat, you're responding. You guys give me a lot of energy, and I really appreciate it. Seriously. Yeah. All right. So let's get back to this. And had to come back over to check with you guys, obviously. The word of God and the sacraments were by the grace of God communicated to all, and may therefore be communicated by all Christians as instruments of the divine grace. But the question here relates not barely to what is permitted in general, but also to what is expedient under existing circumstances. We may here use the words of St. Paul, as things are lawful to me, but all things are not expedient. If we look at the order necessary to be maintained in the church, the laity are therefore to exercise their priestly right in administration of sacraments only, and the time of the circumstances require it. Again, all Christians are new in the position of those who are priests under the Old Testament dispensation. All Christians are now in the position of those who are priests under the Old Testament dispensation. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to go get myself together in a minute, guys. I am like so thrown off a little bit this morning. Give me a moment. Actually, maybe I'll do a video while I get my tea and make myself get a little SEAMOSS and everything together for you guys, right? Yes, fruit water, brother. Definitely. I do pineapple and mango. Oh my gosh! If you guys haven't made a pineapple and mango, take about I'll say even a quarter of a pineapple, cut up fresh, of course. One mango. I would add like a half a cucumber, and make that into an infused water. You can take pineapple skin, the skin from the pineapple, rinse it very good. If you use it organic, you know, even still, you're going to rinse it. And then you're going to put that in there because there's so many enzymes and vitamins and nutrients in the skin of the pineapple. So you're going to put that skin down in there as well. Let it sit for about a day. You're talking about something great. Man, listen. I'll be doing all kind of stuff. I like to try and experiment with things too. This is how I come up with a lot of things, just by experimenting, right? All right, come on, guys. Let's get to it. I know I can get distracted, but I got to get something going right now because your girl is feeling a little perturbed. Yeah, I was doing all this. I've been making products since last night. I went to bed early. I I was trying to a little tired from getting some stuff together, and then I got up and I said, let me at least finish this up. I'm gonna make my babies SEAMOSS, and then I'm going to get one for myself. So I made mine. I made the two that I wanted to get going for the day. I was so excited about. I was so excited about. But yeah, I want you guys to see something, right? I want you guys to see something. Here we go. Well, I take a few minutes to get myself together here. Get me a tea for my sinuses. I should have did that yesterday, but I didn't. I don't always take care of myself. But it is what it is. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to get this going right here. Let's stop this. And I got something good for you guys again. Y'all already know. Hold on, hold on. Let's see. Let's hope we can get it going, guys. You already know. We having some issues, but hopefully we'll be able to get this going with no issues today. Let's see. Give it a minute. Master grandbrother. Oh, play it. There should just play it. What's up with these pictures? World Fair pictures? Look at all these people. What's going on? After the mud flood, guys, cities were in need of men, women, and children. Where did the old culture go? Baby incubators, the World Fair. What's the connection with this? We looked at the World Fair in Chicago yesterday. Look at this. Looks absurd, right? The new world that they came over to rebuild, redo, re excavate, and rebuild. Peace, brother. Love to my chat. Look at all these people they had to bring over to take our place. Excavate all after the mud flood. Don't stop now. Computer trying to stop. Don't stop. That's what I said, bro. A spooky ass music. Spooky. You don't hear anything, bro? Now you hear. Okay, good. I had to unmute. It's just playing this weird music. It's like, yo, this shit looks spooky. They make you think it's spookier than it is, but it's showing you the excavations. I was gonna read, but I think I'm gonna show y'all another video after this. I mean, some of these videos can open so many portals in your mind and let you see what's really going on, what really happened, the real truth versus the false ascension of lies. You guys know we're gonna get into some conversation on some of this. This stuff is crazy. Look how they shipped all these people in. Y'all see them? Look at them. They shipped all these people in. Y'all see the buildings were already there. Remember yesterday they were showing us, saying that, excuse me, oh, this tears bring everything out. Excuse me, guys. I need it. Look, yes, we're over here in the new world. They're so happy and gay. Happy and gay. They're happy and gay. All those orphan kids, all the children they brought over, all the adults, all the children, they brought over to the new world so they can make a new order, making everything a new world and bringing in a new realm of reality. Coney Island, this is the beach. Look, they were all sitting around. These people didn't have anywhere to go most of the time. They were just sitting, waiting, trying to figure out what the next plan was. They planned on Greenwich. This was a village fair in Greenwich. All these people coming through. All the Slavs. Say it, bro. All of the Slavs. All the Slavs. Yes, bro. I'm on their ass. You already know I'm on their ass. Excavation of the land, excavation of the mind, excavation of the body and spirit, which now is going into this meta world with the nis, sin taking you to nis, the covering, all of that. Yeah, those the black orphans, all those black orphans, bro, all the black orphans. All of them. Yes. Being so compassionate to get them aid, and what they do, come and push us out and bring these people in. Dead ass. Did us dirty. You can't always lend a helping hand. You know how many times I've given a helping hand to people and it's turned around on me? They turned on me and they deceitfully done things, lied, made up stories. This is what happens when people want to create a narrative. And this is the narrative that they created. Dead ass corny island. Dead ass corny. They cornballs. Get your ass out of here. Yep. Y'all see it. Look at all these buildings that's already been built. Talking about they came and built something. Come on now. Come on. You found a group of natives called the Slavs? Send me that link, bro, so we can get on that. Crazy. 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 I got another one for y'all. Y'all finna be like, what? Yeah. Let's check it out. Let's check out the ancient EMF technologies. Let's get to it. Yep, break them barriers. Break them barriers in your mind. Let's see some truth. Let's see some truth. Let's wake it up. Wake it up. You already know. Now we about to get to can't stop the flow. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's coming, guys. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, we gonna be patient. We about to get it. We gonna be real patient. Yep. Take your time. Get it together. Come on. All right, y'all. I think it's coming. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Take us what it do now.
It has become evident that the ancient builders of the past possessed advanced technology. So most of us have heard of the theories about how the Pyramid of Giza is some type of generator, or from a point of view in the precise precision of the angles when cutting with stone, or the lower caves in India where it seems the creators with some type of stone cutting technology. It's as if this was simple for them. Why else would they spend so much time decorating with ornate details? We don't see anything like this being constructed in the modern day, and if it was, it'd be done with cheap materials. The two main theories are that either these were constructed by his ancestors. The aliens believe for sci-fi that's a really new concept to the human race. On the other hand, advanced ancestors
There we go.
are referenced in the lore of many ancient philosophers and myths. This is not a new idea. The concept of Atlantis, the gold, is at the root of almost every ancient myth. Now, we can find references to advanced technologies in ancient North and
I'm
around
sure
the
that
world,
many are
but
willing to
we'll get
accept
to
that
that.
Atlantis was
I'm
the
sure that
real
many
deal.
are willing to
Many
accept
still
that
have never
Atlantis
considered this technology
may have
may have
existed in our
existed in
culture
our
much
culture
more
much
recent
more
than
recent
we're
than
led to
we're led
believe.
to believe.
Researcher Graham Hancock would date this culture to the younger Dryas period about
12,000 years ago.
well, what if it wasn't that long ago? More like 1,000 or
2,000 years ago.
2,000 years
And
ago.
this tech has
And
carried
this
on
tech has
even to our
carried on
modern
even to our
age.
modern
None of
age.
this technology
None of
is
this
new.
technology is new.
The story of many
The story of many modern technologies are fabricated,
photography,
like photography,
airplanes,
airplanes,
or even
electricity,
computers.
or even
The
computers.
best tech we have today
The
is
best
baby
today
step
is
to what the
baby step
ancients
to
were
what the
using.
ancients were using.
This is just stuff for our
This is just
entertainment,
stuff for our
for our
entertainment,
comfort.
for our
The
comfort.
ancients possessed
The
powerful
ancients possessed powerful EMF technology, which was used for free ether energy and had the capabilities of
Free
tapping into
energy.
other
Free
dimensions.
energy.
ether was
Ether
commonly
was
accepted
commonly
in
accepted in
science until
science
about
until about
100
100
years
years ago.
ago.
Then Adam explained everything in
Attempt to
nature
explain
with a measurable substance. It's
It's
now
now
heresy to
heresy to
even
even
mention
mention
the
the
ether
ether
of
of
free
free
energy in
energy in
science.
science.
You'd be
You'd be
ridiculed,
ridiculed, most likely lose your position if you were
taking that
taking that
stance
stance
professionally.
professionally.
Most
Most
are
of us
willing to accept that
consider
Atlantis had
devoted
advanced history.
This
This
video is
video
going
is
to
going to
cover how
cover
history
how
is being
history is being
deliberately
deliberately
distorted,
distorted,
how it was rewritten
how
by
it
the
was
victors, and
rewritten
how
by
the
the
most
victors,
famous
and how the
cities that
most
we now
famous
inhabit
cities that
belong
we
to
now
an
inhabit
advanced
belong to an
civilization from
advanced
around as
civilization
early as
from around
300
as
years
early
ago.
as 300 years ago.
A
A
civilization
civilization
that
that
possessed
possessed
advanced
advanced
EMF
EMF
technologies.
technologies.
We will
We will
go
go
over
over
the
the
BS story of
story of
electricity,
electricity,
atomism and
atomism and
anti-science, and
anti-science,
advanced
and
technologies of the
advanced
past.
technologies of the past.
Distorted history.
Distorted
We
history.
start off with Atlantis.
We start off
Seems
with
to be a good
Atlantis.
starting point for most people.
That seems to
There
be
are
a good
many people
starting
who are
point for
totally
most
fine with
people.
exploring
There are
this
many
concept.
people who are totally
Even
fine with
mainstream
exploring
media promotes it.
media
It could be like
promotes
the
it.
ancient aliens
It could be
theory
like
in
the
which
ancient
Atlantis was
aliens
really an
theory in which
alien
Atlantis
city.
was really an
Others think of
alien
Atlantis
city.
like Graham
Others
Hancock
think of
presents it.
Atlantis like Graham Hancock
The thing
presents
about
it.
that is,
The
I
thing
know that
about
Graham
that
Hancock
is,
is
I
not
know that
exactly
Graham Hancock
saying
is not
millions of people
exactly
look into his type of work and
fascinated
are
willing
willing
to
to accept
accept
it
it
as a
as a
possible
possible
reality.
reality.
But
But
the
the
thing
thing
is,
is,
these
these
ideas
ideas
that
that
Atlantis
Atlantis
was
was
20,000
20,000
years
years
ago
ago
or
or whatever,
whatever,
it
it
still
still
follows
follows
suit
suit
with
with
the
the
idea
idea
of
of
mainstream
mainstream
history
history
and it
and
being
it being completely valid.
a result
That
of
these structures are a result of
tens and
tens and
thousands of
thousands of
years
years
of
of erosion,
erosion,
as if
as if
any human on Earth
any
has
human on
lived long
Earth
enough
has
to
lived
validate
long
that
enough
point.
to validate
It
that point.
basically still
It
assumes that
basically
the
Say
story
that.
of
that the
Samaria,
story
Who
of
gonna
Samaria,
validate that?
Greece,
Who
and
is here?
Rome still happened as the mainstream suggests, just that they were developed
just that they
long
were
after
developed after
Atlantis.
Atlantis.
I actually think
I
it's
actually
great
think
that
it's
he's
great that
talking
he's
about these
talking
things
about these
because
things
we're
because we're
slowly starting
slowly
to see the
picture the
ancients in
ancients
a
in a
different
different
way.
way.
The idea that recent
The idea
history
that
has been
recent history
manipulated
has
is
been
not really an
manipulated is not
idea
really an
entertained by
idea
the
entertained by
mainstream.
the mainstream.
I mean, it's recently
I
been
mean,
gaining
it's
traction,
recently
but
been
it's
gaining
still not
traction, but
largely
it's
known
still
about or
not largely
understood.
known about or
Many
understood.
people know about Atlantis, yet
Many people know about
not many have the
Atlantis,
idea
yet not many have looked into the idea of
alternative U.S.
Tartaria,
history,
alternative
etheric
U.S.
technologies of
history,
the past 300
etheric
years,
technologies
or
of
the
the
idea
past
that there are
300
controllers at
years,
play.
or the idea that
History
there are
is
controllers
written
at
by
play.
the winners.
History is written
Now,
by the
there's no way
winners.
for me to fully explain
Now, there's
everything
no way
precisely in
fully
one
explain
video,
everything
so this is
precisely
more
in
like
one
a cliff
video,
notes so that we can
so
expand this topic
this is more
to
like
be
a cliff
understood by a
notes
larger
so that we can
audience.
expand
To
this
put it
topic
briefly
to
and
be
short, in the US, there was existing an advanced civilization of humans who were constructing an advanced architecture and etheric EMF technologies. They use atmospheric static electric collecting devices all over the buildings.
and etheric EMF technologies. They use atmospheric static electric collecting devices all over the buildings. We're talking about a civilization that existed globally around 300 years ago. Then all of a sudden, the new church took over, the anti-church of science and reason, the same reason that led to property, banks, ego, and self-destruction. The modern story of history is a movement of civilization from east to west. I'll try to have some annotations that you can click on that'll bring you to some videos on our channel with more explanation, but basically, this is the thought of history. It doesn't explain global similarities in culture from around the world. We all developed similar concepts for language, lore, shamanism, agriculture, architecture, art, and dancing. The isolation theory is the widely accepted view, meaning none of these ancient cultures had any communication with each other. But obviously the idea of a global emerged recently, like Graham Hancock, Graham Forster, and many others. So the idea of Atlantis completely blows isolation theory and mainstream history away. This is still nonsense to the modern scientific standard that schools and universities teach, except academia teaches. History books would have to be rewritten. Our whole understanding of reality, and that's just too much for most of us right now. It was destroyed by a major flood, a reset, and according to Graham Hancock, 12,000 years ago, roughly, a flood consuming most of the world. Then there were the survivors who kept the knowledge of the Golden Age sciences and principles of civilization. These people knew that the cataclysm would come, possibly using divination, and they were saved like the story of Noah. A group of survivors landed in Ireland and northern Spain. I recommend looking into the Irish origins of civilization by Michael Tarsarian for people who may be new to this topic. This explains the ancient Irish and the demonization of
Look
red
at
hair.
them. Look at them slides, them slaves, them slides.
The older the book, the better. You can find a reference to an Irish soldier who was out in battle in the Far East. Mainstream history says that the Celtic people came from the east from Mongolia and settled into Ireland. And we get this from the Romans. They try to describe these Celtic people as savages. I suspect that this is all part of
the savages
given to us by the manipulators of history. This is a lie told in order to hide where the Greeks and Romans got their sciences from. The Greeks and Romans were made up by the controllers. It's not hard to find out. Josephus tells you what happened. Basically, Josephus, one of our most famous historians, was a Joseph trader. He was a trader that helped these parasites take over. He was rewarded with riches and high status. The Roman Wars is really the Joseph takeover of the Old Society, or Old Irish Church of Iessa. Roman history and Greek history is a fraudulent excuse to explain the ancient history of when all these ancient architectures were developed. They couldn't let people know that these cities were really developed by another civilization. So the only justification is to make up a fraudulent history by literally adding thousands of years to the timeline so that Rome would be seen as more glorious of an empire. And who would get the credit? It was actually takeover of Rome allowed for all the scripture to be forged and for the Bible to literally be stolen by the people who developed it. For Greek, you can see that the ancient writers wrote of ancient civilizations and wrote on the Hyperboreans. Then Origin against Celsus comes out, and Origin trashes all the old writings of the ancient Greeks. It basically says that the antiquity of the Jews is of more importance. We don't even have the writings of Celsus because it was destroyed. All books of the ancient world, those that were not published by the new church, were destroyed. Just imagine how much knowledge was lost in the legendary burning of the Library of Alexandria. When I say Greek and Rome, I'm talking about the history that we are fed. The story that we know of the Romans being these amazing builders and the Greeks being the foundation for rational thinking and science is but a front. These cities are of a much more recent time. We can agree that their societies are post-Atlantean, correct? What we shall soon see is that these really are the cities of the advanced global culture, and we're talking after Atlantis. Shout out to Martin. He has a video on the Congo where he shows that there is this advanced civilization of white people living in Africa, and it looks much different than what we're taught to believe. There were many cities and lakes that are currently not there, and many castles like that of fairy tales. There was another global civilization after Atlantis. How else do you explain the common architecture around the world? Also, if what mainstream history says is true, then why do many languages have their roots in Gaelic and ancient Irish? It's because after Atlantis, the knowledge of civilization was spread out to the east, a movement from west to east. They even crossed into America, developing cities on both coasts. The law was created from a global church, the Church of Iessa. Quote, in their great missionary pilgrimage, they circled the globe in order to give religion and knowledge of God to the different races of mankind. They also established priesthoods and gave alphabets to those who were unenlightened on such matters up to that time. Ireland is the country in which the arts and sciences were first discovered and developed. To this country, the Greeks applied the term ogia, a term which was never given but to the very ancient, and it is from the Irish, Aryans, that the Greeks traced their descent, Donnelly's Atlantis. From Conor McDarry, quote, there is no mistaking the monuments left by the Irish, who were once the rulers and masters of the whole earth. Their rule embraced all countries, it was worldwide. Ireland was the first mistress of the seas. It was the first and only worldwide empire which was ever known, for it was spiritual. It was greater in extent than Persian, Greek, Roman, or Mughal ever attained to. The remains of their works, wherever they found, bear an unmistakable similarity in shape and character. They are huge, immense, and conceived and carried out on a plan so extensive that it awes the mind of man today. These remains extend from Ireland along the Atlantic coast of Europe to Africa, along the Mediterranean Sea to Egypt, India, China, Java, Tahiti, and the Caroline Islands in the South Pacific Ocean. On the American continent, we find the round tower near Newport, RI, which bespeaks its Irish origin, and the great pyramidal mounds of the Ohio and Mississippi valleys. Also, the ruined temples of Yucatan and Mexico, and similar remains in South America are all evidence of their handiwork. All owe their origin to the same source, and they establish beyond any doubt that the Irish were the first real discoverers of America, and that they established civilization on this western continent. It was tradition founded on the fact which gave hope and encouragement to later adventurers. The very name of God among the Indians of our country was an Irish name derived from those missionaries and explorers centuries before Christopher Columbus or Eric the Red were born. One of the Irish names of God is Man, and Manitha is the Irish word for holy. The Indian name for God was Monotau, the Holy One. The Indians also had another name for God, and this again was Irish. It was Manabasha, the sun god. It is a compound word with the root word man, holy, and basha of the cows, the bull, virtually the same as Baal, the Irish sun god. So the name signifies the holy life giver, or holy creator. Anyone who knows the Celtic tongue will recognize this fact at once, and so will all competent students of philology. Most people are not aware of this because it is suppressed history, or people think this is some type of nationalism. I'm not even Irish, this has nothing to do with that. There are many legends from cultures all around the world talking about white red-haired giants who possess advanced technology. The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history. George Orwell. For instance, red-haired, bearded, feathered god Quetzalcoatl, a carving in the Olmec capital referred to as Uncle Sam with a large nose and beard, appearing largely Semitic, who was said to have arrived from an island home across the sea that disappeared after a great flood. I have a video on the Irish connections to the Phoenicians, but they're not the same thing. The Phoenicians are like the dark cult that came from the Celtic Druids, that then developed into the worship of Baal or Saturn, presumably the one who was causing all these cataclysms to happen. Basically, these cataclysms started happening because the gods became angry. Wisdom had been brought down to the earth, and unity was achieved on the material realm. This is the story according to the Gnostic Gospels. There was a split between the Old Church, the Church of Iessa, and the New Church, the worship of Baal or materialism. And also, I want to make a distinction between the old sun and the new sun, Saturn. The old church was a utopia based on the old golden age of Atlantis. It was based on natural law and for the pursuit of wisdom. The Church of Iessa still praised the sun. It was an analogy for the beauty of the invisible God. The new Church of Baal developed into the Roman Empire. The confusion is we date the Phoenicians to about 4,000 to 5,000 years ago in mainstream history. The Phoenicians are just a cover name for a specific branch of ancient Jews which aren't that ancient at all. They are from a recent time, possibly 500 years ago. This new church in secret worships the demon god, the mad god of the Bible, Jehovah, or Saturn, Baal. But as they grew to power, they took over the media, the press, and began promoting the exoteric understanding of the Bible for the masses, as well as the fraudulent atheist viewpoint of the world that completely denied God called science. Fraudulent Church of Rome, controlled by the they wanted to worship the god causing the catastrophe in order to subdue the effects. This is the story over the Battle of Jerusalem. The old Jews were replaced by the new Jews. I'm going to stop right there for a second and slow down because if you're new to this, you might be like, oh, what is he talking about? Especially the people who cringe at the idea of shadow controllers or the Illuminati. Why would the Phoenicians or whatever want to take over the world by stealing this church? Because this old church was the spiritual power of the old world. They traveled across the globe, civilizing the entire world, as I referenced in Donnelly's Atlantis. If you buy the story of Atlantis, and Donnelly's Atlantis was one of the first major books on Atlantis, whoever dominates the church rules the world, literally. So when I say Phoenician, I have a different definition than the mainstream, and it's not a simple sentence, so bear with me. The Phoenicians is a cover name for the advanced maritime culture of the ancient past. It was created by this new Church of Rome to hide the history of how the ancient Church of Iessa became what we now call the Jews. It's a little bit of both histories, that's why it's so confusing. The Phoenicians were the first to develop language, but this is really the story of the ancient Irish. The worship of Baal and materialism doesn't come until a later time. The Phoenician history begins with the Irish, and then a parasitic thinking took place, and they began to worship Baal. I'm saying that the Phoenicians developed around 500 years ago, while there were many other cities and civilizations developed by the Irish that then developed into their own cultures. For the Phoenicians, it's the Irish developing into the Jews. Let's move Atlantis closer. There's an ancient manuscript known as Oretta Linda that speaks of these times. The reason we don't hear about this manuscript is because it's said to be a fraud. The only real reason mainstream academics believes this is because they simply can't accept the dating. Oretta Linda dates Atlantis to be 2,000 to 4,000 years ago, which would move many cultures to a far more recent time. Regardless of the dating, it is still interesting to find that Atlantis is referenced as Atlant, completely separate from Plato. We also have to keep in mind the fandom time hypothesis, or flamencosburg. If that's the case, then Atlantis may have been as recent as 1,000 to 2,000 years ago. Okay, so back to how the Irish became the Phoenician, Venetian, Roman civilization. Okay, so why this takeover? Or what's the motive of the Illuminati, right? Why take over this church if they enlightened the ancient world after the fall of Atlantis? From Connor McDarry, quote, the fact of his holding such autocratic power led to the assumption of attributes of divinity in order to hold the people in awe of him. The qualities of divinity we have seen attributed to the rulers in our day. In Russia, China, Japan, and not so long ago in England, the belief was held that any disease which would not yield to the treatment of a physician could be cured by a mere touch of the king's hand or even his garment. The head of the Irish state church held the supreme pontifical power in Europe until challenged first by Persia, then by Greece, and later by Rome, who, when a favorable time arrived for her to assert her independence, set up jointly a church and state for herself. For let it be known, Rome was at one time a colony of Ireland. The name Rome is a compound of two Irish words, ro, meaning before, and om, meaning body, earth, or grave. But in its mythic meaning, it is made to signify before heaven, ro, and earth, orn, the two together meaning heaven and earth, hence the eternal city Rome. The river of Rome, the Tiber, also bears an Irish name. It derives its name from Tuber, the Irish word for a well or spring of water. Hence, the Tiber is a spring water river. As the poet Longfellow truly says, their names are on your waters, and ye may not wash them out. The fact is that Ireland was the first power that colonized along both sides of the Mediterranean Sea, and therefore the colonies came from the west instead of the east, as our astute Roman and British historians would have us believe. And the world has believed it up to now, but the deception, when once exposed, is too clear for anyone to be deceived by it. Investigators have followed this false clue sent out from this source and found nothing in the east to support this claim that the Aryans immigrated from the east and colonized towards the west. The real and true evidence points just in the opposite direction. The American Encyclopedia Art Ethnology, quoted in Donnelly's Atlantis, says Bonfrey L. Geiger and other students of the ancient Indo-European languages have recently advanced the opinion that the original home of the Indo-European races must be sought in Europe, because their stock of words is rich in the names of plants and animals and contains names of seasons that are not found in tropical countries or anywhere else in Asia. Mueller says the nations who are comprehended under the common appellation of Indo-European, the Hindus, the Persians, the Celts, Germans, Romans, Greeks, and Slavs, do not only share the same words and the same grammar, slightly modified in each country, they seem to have likewise preserved a mass of popular traditions which had grown up before they left their common home, Donnelly's Atlantis. In the book from 1842, Etruria Celtica, Etruscan literature and antiquities investigated, or the language of the ancient and illustrious people compared and identified with the Iberno-Celtic and both shown to be Phoenician, the author makes many etymological connections with the ancient Irish language and covers symbols in Etruscan coins that are common Irish emblems. Quote, I have examined and endeavored to place the language in a true light by demonstrating its analogies and removing the erroneous notion of its affinity with Welsh, Cornish, and Basque breadth. An accident induced its comparison with Etruscan, which indeed answered Jockson's anticipations and expectations by opening great discoveries in Irish antiquity, and clearing up the obscurity which hid the origin of the early people, not only of Ireland and the British Islands, but of all Celtic Europe, and deducing their origin from the great civilized, commercial, navigating people of the world who before the birth of Greek or Roman greatness traversed the seas and enjoyed the uncontrolled empire of the deep. This isn't something that I just came up with, and if you bear with me, this will tie many different pieces of the puzzle together. In order to understand this alternative history, a base must be established. There's so much more that I could say on this subject, but the question that I hear a lot is, how would the powers that be want to control the world? One can't even begin to understand this because we're fed a false history from two main empires, Rome and Britain. Okay, so the Phoenicians are basically a small group that began with the Church of Iessa and the Black Sea. It was developed into multiple sects, one being the Gnostics, and one of the others were parasites like the Church of Baal. The Church of Baal developed into the Jews, which really is at a much more recent time. So it was actually took over Rome. Okay, so how is this relevant to ancient tech? So the story of electricity comes from these people who took over Rome. These people purposely hid technologies of recent times, and we've been fed stories of accidental scientific discoveries when we only have the knowledge of electricity for the past 200 years. The ancients were quite aware of magnets as they form naturally. It would be quite possible to create a powerful current if they possessed powerful batteries, which they did. Copper was widely used by these ancient cultures, so what's so baffling about recent cultures possessing some type of advanced EMF technology? The pyramids are generating a torsion field that is accessing multiple planes of existence, which in turn creates energy. This energy can transform consciousness to access other realities, but can also be harnessed into physical objects. Aether technologies. Aether technologies of the past did exist, and it ran on the energy that was around all of us. It didn't need to be paid for, and it wasn't the property of any company. Now remember, there were still cultures that followed the natural law, and these were the remnants of the Church of Iessa, which had cities and strongholds all around the world, including the Americas. This is what we're referencing as Tartaria, the leftover Church of Iessa, the original builders of all these magnificent spiritual architectures. But we also have the Jews, who came over to America because this Phoenician cult happened near the Black Sea, and according to the Book of Mormon, these Jews were trying to escape the war going on. So they fled, following some strange ancient tech called the Liahona, following their way to America. Meaning these people were not of the Church of Iessa, but of a later time when many cults were developing. Were they good or bad? That's another story, but they ended up landing in Haiti and South America, helping develop the Aztec and Mayan civilizations. The Book of Mormon also talks about how this tribe of Jews who came to America met another people who were advanced and already accustomed to their language and ways. This is referencing the civilizations already in existence in America. This is around 500 years ago. These Jews were not sent over by the new Church of Rome, but were mostly people who tried to escape the confusion that was going on in all the war. The story of Christopher Columbus is the story of how the Church of Rome through Spain rediscovered the Americas. While all these wars are happening, cults and different sects are being formed. There's constant cataclysm going on, and a constant strive for power from multiple different parties. So much knowledge was lost, and the knowledge of terra firma became just a myth and legend. I'm referring to this new Church of Rome as really just a corporation of the Phoenician Baal cult, purple royal family. They forged most of our history, and the real Romans were one of these advanced cultures of the Church of Iessa before the cataclysm and parasitic takeover. Now, in order to take control, many devices were developed in order to dominate and control, and they tell us specifically what those devices are. The symbols in almost all the publications from Britain and Rome have strange emblems and symbols that reference domination and power. The fasces is an electromagnetic weapon used by the royals to take over. Just think about it, a bundle of rods would make an axe unusable. Quote, it was Etruscan before Roman, so it has a long history. When Rome began to transition to authoritarianism, the fasces became a symbol of that. But it was long held to be a symbol of the power of Rome and the will of the people. The fasces were a series of bound rods with an axe head within them, and were carried by lictors, or the bodyguards of ancient Rome. Wherever an important elected leader went, lictors followed. By this, the rod of the lictors, the fasces, became a symbol of power in government and law. So they are trying to play it as if they were really using these weapons for protection or for some type of status. Fasces are electromagnetic guns.
Now, this same magnetic field is much more potent if it operates on an aluminium sheet instead of on the mercury. The reason for this is that aluminium is about 40 times more conducting than mercury. Of course, I could make it more potent still if I could put some steel behind the aluminium to improve the magnetic circuit. But instead of this, I'm going to change the shape of the motor. Can you imagine that the two sides were bent up? Having imagined that to be done, let's make a machine that looks like that. We should find that the windings are very simple, being only a row of coils like this. The moving part is a steel rod with a copper sleeve around it. We put it in the end of the tube, and fire. Well, that wasn't a bad shot, was it? This electromagnetic gun seems to have taken us right back to the start with our rifle. It looks as if we can make an electromagnetic model of nearly anything. We've certainly managed to reproduce the gun.
Quote, "The fasces has been all over American symbology from the very beginning. You'll find it in dozens, if not hundreds of places around America, mostly in government institutions. The House of Representatives used a fasces to represent its master-at-arms from 1789 onward. Its use is quite common in reference to law, and was commonly seen alongside things like scales and statues of the blind justice. It looks like a pile of twigs attached to an axe could be one of the deadliest weapons known to mankind. The elite know what the symbol means, and so we know who is in power. To fully cover how the fasces worked, we have to talk about atmospheric conditions of the past, the ether, and magnetic flips. The magnetic ether was more powerful in the past, and it fluctuates leading to cataclysmic events, and it can even be isolated. The rapture already happened. When energy in these fields build up, they flip and reset, causing all sorts of phenomena like anti-gravity. Devices were developed to access this built-up energy in the atmosphere, and these are referred to as aether devices. They are free energy devices designed to collect the built-up energy in the aether. Magic was also more possible, as our thoughts permeate the aether. Our thoughts are now just subtle vibrations only visible to the clairvoyant, or even those with close relations have the common occurrence of thinking the same thought at the same time. The common phrase, jinx. The Phoenicians of the new church didn't fully take over until about 100 years ago, so there was a period of time where many cities were still not owned by them. The cities that remain, like I said, are the remnants of the Church of Iesa, like Tartaria, and they were using advanced technologies. These cities include LA, San Francisco, New York, St. Petersburg, Paris, London, and many others. They had an aether lighting system, an aircraft system using jets and other flying vehicles. They possessed free energy that was
free energy
to different building generators. That is what our churches are. They generate power and energy.
They're on ley lines. I keep telling you guys.
Through symmetry and acoustics, and through the use of a transmitter. The transmission can be sent for everyday application like lighting and heating, which then powered steam. We only learned of the history of the Phoenician cult of Baal, so rediscover the sciences filled with fraudulent characters and a complete distorted lie of timeline. Many of the accidental discovery stories of electricity are not accidental. It's just a story made up to explain a found or stolen technology.
That's right.
It sounds crazy, but there are references in this.
Always tell them they self, bro. You know that shit can't be hidden.
Irish. In ancient Irish literature, Cuchulainn possessed a divine magical spear with supernatural powers. But Cuchulainn was not the only one who possessed an extraordinary spear. The god Lu had a similar weapon, which was called the Invincible Spear, or the Spear of Victory. And it had properties similar to the magical sword of Nuada, Sword of Light, when thrown. It momentarily hit its target. This weapon was one of the lost 4 treasures of the Tuatha De Danann. In Greek, the antikythera mechanism.
Period, bro. This is all I keep saying. Keep telling y'all this frequency, man.
Zeus's lightning bolt, aka thunderbolt, aka master bolt, is the signature weapon and symbol of the power for the Olympian god of thunder, Zeus. It's said to be the most powerful and feared weapon on the earth and in the heavens. Agita, regarded as the weapon that Hercules used to kill the eagle Aquila that perpetually gnawed Prometheus' liver. The Greeks invented a novelty device called the Eolo Pile. This was a small brass ball with 2 nozzles which was suspended on a stand filled with water. Lighting a fire under the ball caused the water to boil and steam to shoot out the nozzle, spinning the ball. It was a miniature steam engine. Vedic. In the Vedas, electricity is mentioned by the name Indra. The word Vidyuta also is used. We also find mention in Agastya regarding the mention of generation of electricity in constructing electrical batteries. The relevant reference can be quoted as under, quote, place a well-cleaned copper plate in an earthenware vessel. Cover it first by copper sulfate and then by moist sawdust. After that, put a mercury amalgamated zinc sheet on top of the sawdust to avoid polarization. The contact will produce an energy known by the twin name of Mitra Varuna. Water will be split by this current into Pranana Vayu or Udana Vayu, a chain of which 100 jars is said to give a very effective voice. We also have mention of the Vimanas, or ancient flying aircrafts of the class. Nordic, Gugnir, Old Norse Gugnir swaying, pronounced Gugnir, is the name of the mighty spear that belongs to the old god Odin. Maybe by swaying, they mean it was emitting vibrational waves to sway or rhythmically move back and forth. In the recorded Norse myths, Gungnir is the weapon most consistently and powerfully associated with Odin. Odin and Zeus are similar but not the same. Odin is the father of thunder, or Thor. He is the god of wisdom, poetry, death, divination, and magic. The king of Asgard, or Aether. Oriental. Aztec is Quetzalcoatl, a lightning-like weapon born of Huitzilopochtli. Kunkankin, a chakram of great power wielded in Taoist mythology by Nezha, a mythological figure often depicted as a young, handsome boy wearing clothes similar to a lotus. He has 2 wheels with planes attached to his feet and golden ankle rings. The fasces was not an axe, but an advanced technology of the gods. Wikipedia even says that the fasces was first developed by the Etruscans. Well, they're literally just the early Irish. In this depiction, we can see a Phoenician Statue of Liberty with a floating device in her hand. This is another electromagnetic item used by the controllers. In Vedic literature, it's called a Vajra, a weapon of Indra, or the god of thunder, and symbol for electricity. You can also
Thunder,
see
electricity.
a symbol for the god of man. Those with this symbol are the god race that have been electrified by the Kundalini energy, the physical and metaphysical being, the aether being. It's obvious
Which is what they tap into, pharmaceuticals, waveform.
And many who are new to this subject are willing to accept that this was possible in Atlantis. But why isn't it possible that a recent civilization had this technology? 250 years ago, great cities of America were not under rule by these new rulers. We didn't start expanding out west until the 19th century.
Talk about it.
Civilization living in the west of America. You'll see the same pattern with old
That's
buildings
right,
and
the real Jews.
And if you do, it's usually very staged, or even
Jewels.
fake. Did you know that one of the earliest photoshopped images is from the 1850s? Yes, meaning literally, this is a composite of over 30 photographs. I wonder why we don't ever hear about this. Think about how much that could be faked with this. They had the ability to composite multiple different footages together.
Then we just see this in the other video.
1900s. Let's look at some right footage. People still literally think this is real.
The still photos we saw a moment ago, guys.
The official flight. So what they're going to do is they're going to pull out the plane from the hangar. And I think that this gets some movement on the ground, but I refuse to believe that they actually got this to lift off and land, because if they did, they would do it in one consistent footage.
Say it again.
Some definite trickery going on.
Trickery.
So
Sorcery.
and they get it ready for a takeoff, okay? And then there's this crowd, and this is where the pretty clever compositing takes place, okay? So here it is taken off, supposedly, right? Bam, a clip changer, okay? So there's the first change. It's not showing you a consistent takeoff. Now, what they did is there's 2 footages going on, okay? So you have to understand there's a backplate, which means they shot this footage right here with this group of people without anything in the sky or this plane, right, supposedly taking off. They took the footage with nothing here. And then later in a studio or whatever, they have a model that's very similar to this larger model of the plane. And they basically have it where there's this white background behind the toy model, like typical Hollywood trickery, to composite over this illusion that this plane's actually taking off. But what you'll notice as we go further, as the plane's flying around, as it comes around, you'll notice that these people aren't even paying attention to it.
Because they know it's bullshit.
Now, this clip right now is a backplate, meaning they shot this at a different time. These people are not even paying attention for one of the first flights of an airplane. They're not even paying attention. So watch, it's actually going to come around, and this guy has his head down. Basically, you can tell that just based on head orientation, they're not even looking at this thing. And actually, if I go back to right here, you can tell based on perspective that this is not actually accurate.
Looks like a hot air balloon.
Of these propellers. So why can't we just look at it? Why is it being weird? What's with this camera movement? So there you go. They're not even paying attention to it. The perspective is off. They won't show the landing. And yeah, this is just Hollywood. So
Hollywood, sorcery of lies, and fiction, and building of more stories.
Okay, so we're gonna look at some footage that's a little bit less known, but it's so obvious how fake it is. So they're doing the same thing. They're pulling out the airplane and they're pulling it out on courses, get the propellers going. But here's the thing: it's the same thing where you're not going to see a consistent footage from takeoff to landing. You won't. But what you will see is some fakery. So here we go. So let's go to, here's the engine that they're using or whatever. So here's the takeoff, but you won't see it because of the horrible footage. So they're going to switch to this part when it's ducking. This is not a real person. You can actually tell it's not. So when you look at it, what this is early compositing. This is a toy model with literally dolls on it, and they are ducking it up and down on a white canvas, or it could be a variety of different mediums. But then they basically have two footages, and then they are compositing it together. They had this art form basically mastered in the 1850s. So what makes it so impossible that we could do this with footage? Well, they did. That's what Hollywood literally is. I mean, it's just so obvious. Old pictures of cities with amazing buildings and architecture, but people are on horseback, and the roads are made of dirt.
Right.
It
Say
doesn't
it.
make sense.
We just went over that
I'm not gonna
yesterday's
go into
video,
it
didn't we,
here,
guys?
but the way they say airplanes work is complete BS. The engines are high technology from the past. BS stories.
Facts.
Electricity and photography are thought to be recent discoveries, but if you look into the history of photography, it happened by accident, and the same goes for electricity. Most of these discoveries have some strange story that really doesn't make all that much sense. Okay, so let's go over the BS story of electricity. In the 1700s, Hawksby is credited with discovering that he could build up a visual electric charge inside a rotating vacuum-sealed glass sphere filled with mercury. He was an apprentice to Isaac Newton and wasn't even the first one to come up with this idea. There's this older scientist named Otto von Guericke who's credited for developing the first vacuum and experimenting with electrostatic phenomena. Notice all the symbolism, how this is just another scientist out of Italy. These are either lies or the story of how those that relearned the sciences, and many inventions had their history completely fabricated, assisted by a fake scientist created for the benefit of Britain and Rome. Our modern perception of electricity comes from the famous Benjamin Franklin, where supposedly he discovered that lightning was electricity. Some people think he discovered electricity, and that's not true. None of these people did. The ancients were well aware of it. They just perceived it in a different way. Now, Leyden jars are said to be the first basic battery, the first means of accumulating and preserving electric charge in large quantities that could be discharged at the experimenter's will. We went over how the ancients were well aware of electricity and charges. Many know about the Baghdad battery and the Egyptian light bulb, but the name electricity itself comes from the Greeks, who were well aware of action at a distance, or static electricity. If you guys watched that new video on the Conspiracy RS channel, he showed some diagrams of old buildings from the Lightning Rod Conference in 1882. It goes to show that they definitely have thought about this, a device on top of the houses that would collect free energy from the atmosphere. Then, the energy is stored in a large Leyden jar. This means that they had multiple devices in the common home that could function off of electricity. The mainstream will admit that the ancients had knowledge of static electricity all the way back to the earliest civilization, but it remained merely an interesting and mystifying phenomenon without a theory to explain its behavior, and often confused with magnetism. They did have a theory, it's just called aether, that just doesn't work with their model because it's a non-physical substance, and the only thing that can exist in this universe is observable, established data. That couldn't be further from the truth. So the ancients knew about static electricity for thousands of years, had many different legends and lore talking about the great magical weapons of electricity, and they just never thought of a good theory, huh? They just didn't think of a practical use. Well, I guess that's it. No, the Greeks and Romans knew about steam generators, and they knew about the practical uses of electricity. So they just have a toy steam engine on their desk while they're building some of the most complex structures of the ancient world. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. But what's even more ridiculous is the idea that you go from settling in horses and wagon in America, and then within 20 years you're building massive dome churches. It doesn't make any sense.
Speculative,
you guys should check
isn't
out that new video on John Levi's channel called Awakening 2020. He covers how many of the buildings of the Philadelphia Electric Company are being pushed as if they created them in the 1920s. These magnificent structures
We
were
know
then
about that. We
repurposed
read
as power
about
stations, possibly attempting to use the technology already inside of these structures. Did you know that the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951 is a body of United States federal law designed to prevent disclosure of new inventions and technologies that, in the opinion of selected federal agencies,
I guess they
present
pulled
a
all that
possible
shit on the
threat to
horse and
national
buggies, huh?
security of the United States? There are old pictures of
Yes,
strange power
bro.
lines without cables.
Yes,
Old photos
bro.
of
We
buildings
seen
with
all
antennae
that.
on top of the roof. The andirons in front of many old fireplaces may have been some type of etheric heating device for warming the interiors of large rooms, or it may be much more advanced than ever imagined. Some of these fireplaces could be etheric demoleculators that could transfer matter into the etheric realm and back like a gateway. If the largest library in the ancient world could be burned to the ground, then that explains the amount of manipulation that's really occurred.
Right.
Everything has been placed into the property of the parasites, and anything that
Property of the
ancient
parasites.
or ancient advanced technology has been systematically removed and replaced with forgeries. That's all we're fed from the start of the Greeks are Jewish forgeries from the start of Origin against Celsus, where Origin claims that the ancestry of the Jews are of the utmost antiquity, where Celsus, like other ancient Greek philosophers, all wrote about ancient ancestors of the Hyperboreans and how advanced these people were. In more recent times, the civilizations that built the great cities of America were an advanced race of people who were larger in stature and had mastered the art of electricity. On the video
Giants.
of Bald White Giant, they are native legends that
The
specifically
giants.
refer to us. They built the railroads and developed into a steampunk-like realm filled with amazing gadgets and flying machines. These people were breatharian, absorbing the ether for sustenance, and did not require bathrooms for the architecture. Some type of EMF outburst destroyed the civilization, whether it was the technology they were using that ended up building up and causing a magnetic flip, or if it was natural. The gravity was
The World Wide Web. You see it, right? The World Wide Web. I keep talking to you about the web. Look at it. Do you guys see this? This is the Christ spirit, the Christos, the Nis.
Using one of the devices of the gods, like the fashions. You don't think the ancients thought of weapon imagery needed to make a buck of electricity. So after they started to use the Tartarian technology to create a new society. There was again more cataclysms of mudflood, and so they decided to not use the atmospheric devices. So they reset history and bring in thousands of orphans. And that's exactly what happened.
Orphans. Didn't we talk about the orphan trains this week?
Had to implement electricity on a city scale. The scientists Galvani, Volta, Davy, Faraday, Maxwell are other orphanage scientists that went to these mainstream colleges in the Empire of Britain or Rome, and these people were again trying to rediscover these lost secrets after all these cataclysms. It's either orphans promoted by the state or church, fraudulent or made-up people with few images, or these writings are of a
Y'all good now?
Literally, and they just translated it and assigned a name and a fake person. You know, and there's something very weird about the transatlantic cable story. Also note that it looks very similar to the fact sheets. Maybe this is some old tech and the engravings are just something done more.
Why would it have copper on the inside?
Claims that the
It had to be for voltage carrier.
That could continuously provide an electric current to a circuit. It is the first battery that could provide a direct current for this new church civilization. The University of Padua is full of fraud, and many of the scientists in this electricity history are part of this college, especially during the supposed 18th century. What's so sketchy about them? Well, it all starts with Aristotle. Watch Tartaria Part 3. I talk about how Aristotle and Venice and how this whole philosophy took over. So these scientists out of these universities are Freemasons, basically, or they have an agenda. Mostly that these technologies were found and stolen, and individuals were tasked with re-engineering this technology, such as Volta, or just completely made up from the beginning. The only science that we see is that published by the new anti-church of Venice, Rome, Phoenicia. We get completely made up stories like the Gilded Age deception, that these millionaires just wanted to start building European-style mansions in the US. Now, it wasn't until Albert Einstein that we had the ether removed from the scientific sphere. Before, such as in Maxwell's equations, the ether was suggested as the source for the phenomena, the luminiferous ether. The reason they say the ether doesn't exist, and they know this without a doubt, is because of the Michelson-Morley experiment. It proved that the ether didn't exist. It did no such thing. They just can't find a way to record it, and so, according to the atomist, they can't observe it. It's not real. If I can't put it into some type of measurement, then it doesn't exist. So dreams don't exist. What about love, or ambition, or imagination? These things can't be recorded, but they're real. Does that mean they don't exist? Of course not. So how did this experiment prove anything? It didn't. It literally didn't. What we have today is modern science thinks gravity is somehow a function of particles and quantum mechanics. Modern physics says gravitons cause gravity, and that light is a particle or has some type of emission. It doesn't. Light is just a disturbance of the ether, just like matter is, but to a much higher degree. Atoms are just empty space, so how does matter have solidity? Quantum physics can't figure out why electrons switch between a particle or a wave based on the observer. Most of these concepts aren't even understood by the people who came up with them. The whole intention from the beginning is just to promote this Aristotle agenda. Even Nikola Tesla said that Albert Einstein was an idiot. And yeah, to this day, modern physics still lacks an explanation for action at distance, light, and magnetism. They don't explain the phenomena, they just give it a term in an equation, and that doesn't really explain anything though. Conclusion. We've covered several different topics on the channel covering these concepts, and it becomes to become clear that there is an agenda to control information and suppress truth. What if Atlantis was at a much more recent age than ever imagined? After the fall of Atlantis, survivors landed in Ireland and northern Spain, preserving the foundations of the Golden Age civilization. These ancient ways were then carried across the world to re-educate those who suffered from the Great Cataclysm. This resulted in the new global church, the Church of Ayesa, establishing major cities around the world, becoming the first maritime power. Then a swap happened. This is the Phoenician takeover.
A swap, the Phoenician takeover.
And the quest for world domination begins. At this time, many cataclysms were taking place, assisting in the process of the evil Phoenician takeover. But before these cataclysms, there were many advanced civilizations all around the world, from the Far East all the way to America. These civilizations possessed advanced ether-based technology.
Granddad, sis, thanks for coming over, boo.
Possessed a different digestive system that could purely live off the ether and nature. Slowly but surely, these Phoenician parasites took over, starting in Rome and slowly moving to Paris and London. These became the dark, filthy ages, and they possessed technology that would extract charge from fake clouds created from burned feces. This led to steampunk technologies in the recent past. These technologies created dirty electricity, which resulted in a buildup in the environment, creating another magnetic reset. More mudfloods, another reset, ghost cities, and the repopulation of the world's major cities. The rulers had to start over in re-engineering this technology. Some technologies were just found, and false histories needed to be created, such as the airplane and photography. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's so much more to cover.
Yeah, so much more.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, it's so much more. Y'all see this? Do y'all see this, brothers and sisters? Tell me this mess ain't a mess. We don't even know where to start sometimes, right? It get real crazy. Let me close that out. I wanted to play y'all another video, but I think I'm going to get into something else real quick, just to kind of keep the mind, spinning on a few things. Let's check this out real quick. Hold on. I think I want y'all to check this out real quick. Let's get into this. What part am I going to start on? The Wort Trade Board. Let's talk about that. Let's see if they're going to let us share. Oh, we sharing good. What? What's up? You guys is cooperating at this moment. So check this out, guys. I want you guys to see some of this. This particular newspaper is an official bulletin from February the 7th, 1919. And we are going to look at some information on it, right? There's a lot of information on it, but there are a few things I want you guys to see, right? When it comes to, all this stuff they're talking about, blah, blah, blah. We're going to be all over the place, just like bam, knocking shit down, da, 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 blah, 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 blah. So we're going to talk about a little bit right here because I want to get down to people being brought to the United States because that's what we're looking at, right? It says here that the restrictions were removed on all but limited number of the commodities, right? When it comes to the World Trade Board, they announced in a new ruling for the information of exporters in the United States that they have been informed of the following announced changes in the import regulations of Belgium. So remember, this is during the time, 1919. We're looking at the time up. Yesterday we saw the information on the World Fair. We have to take the meat, spit out the bones, few little pits in there. We have to throw all that shit away to the side, but we've seen it all, right? They always tell on themselves. They show us everything we need to see when we're looking for what we're looking for. So we got a lot of information on that. So this is the same time, remember? 1920. Oh, wait a minute. I may be mistaken. Anybody remember, any of you guys remember, was that 1920 was the World's Fair, or was it 1820? Or 1889. I can't remember the dates. All this stuff that I've been going over lately, guys, it's a little confusing. Does anyone recall? If you guys can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Can you guys hear me? Can y'all hear me? Mm-hmm. I can't see my avatar because I don't have it on the screen, so I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Can you guys hear me? Put a 1 if you can hear me. You guys can or not. I don't want to keep going and talking and go over everything. If you can't hear me, let's do it this way and see if this helps. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. Perfect, bro. Thank you. Was it fine before? Put a 2 in the chat if nothing's changed and it's the same as before. Put a 2 in the chat, somebody, because I want to know, because I want to move my avatar off of the screen. And if you heard me before, I was wondering, I can go back to that. So put a 2 if you were hearing me previously before I kept asking. Y'all know y'all girl got to be on point now. Make sure y'all help me out now. What you say, bro? You made the fires. Okay, so it was good. Okay, so I could take myself and remove myself from the screen. If you can't hear me, I'm going to be speaking because I'm going to be reading the article. Make sure you guys put a 1 in the chat, or let me know that you can't hear me. So you guys said it was fine before. Okay, perfect. So let's go back to the other screen so you guys can see everything. Perfect. Okay, good. We're good to go. I want to make sure y'all good. Now I want to be talking to myself, right? So it says basically the United States, they have been informed of the following announced changes in the import regulations of Belgium. The import restrictions have been removed on all commodities imported into Belgium, with the exception of foodstuffs, tobacco, wine, spirits, malt, shoes, clothing, and accessories, cloth, perfumery, and accessories, and coal. Damn, they was sending everything out, right? They was shipping everything to these people from here, right? They was giving them so many different things. Man, even down to the perfume. They want to even smell like us. Goodness gracious. Imagine the hate. Application requirements. So previous regulations issued by the Belgian government, they provided that licensing for the importation of foodstuffs, clothing, textiles, and tobacco must be applied for from the Ministry of Industry and Labor, and the revictualling have been amended to provide that it is necessary to apply to the above mentioned ministry. Now, listen, here we go. Ministry, right? Why was import and anything like that have to do with ministry, right? What, right? Here's the government which is the government and state, the state and church and state, all of this, right? Keep that in mind. Let's not forget. Bread, all this other stuff. Okay, so no Belgium imports license to require before the shipping of oats, sugar, tobacco, wines, all this stuff. Oh my gosh, and so on and so forth. So this is talking about some people that was found dead, but this more importantly, I want you guys to see. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, that's as far as the stomach goes. Okay, look right here where it says 97,039 persons brought to the U.S. by naval vessels in January. Yo, listen, y'all. This shit can't get no better than this, right? It can't get no better than this. It can't. Y'all seeing them bots, right? Do I got to make sure I handle the chat, or y'all got me? What's up? Because I know I get tired of having to block these people trying to stay focused and get annoying, distracting. Y'all, please make sure y'all see these weirdos. Just block them out. I don't even care. But do y'all see that? I just want to make sure that you guys are seeing it. I want to, be sure that you guys are seeing that, right? I don't know why it keeps putting the sign up there. I'm trying to make sure y'all can see that part. But yeah, check it out. What that should say. It says 900. Let me go down again because this ain't blocking it. I don't know why it's blocking. I got to put the thing on there. Maybe I'm out the chat, y'all. Y'all can't see me because I'm going to stay on the screen for a minute so y'all can see this. So y'all see this. 97,000. Let me highlight and see if that helps because this thing acting real annoying. I hate when it do that. All right, let me just move it over here. Okay, so boom, it says, y'all, I want y'all to see it says that. Okay, 97,039 persons, right, brought to the United States by Navy vessels in January. Now, look, remember we were talking about, dang, they was bringing the people over by the millions. Yesterday we talked about that, right? They were bringing people over by the millions and millions and millions. As they brought these people over by the millions, right? They were coming always shipping them in, flying them in if they could have, but they didn't have no planes back then. They didn't know how to operate the systems that our ancestors had. So they were bringing people in by vessel, by ship, by train, and as you see, even by the Navy vessels. It says that 12,192 were carried by cruisers, right? And 7,528 were carried by battleships, is what the reports show. You see that, right? Okay, so we see what's going on. All these people being shipped in. It says that Secretary Daniels authorized the following. The Navy Department has received a report from the commander of the cruiser force Atlantic, showing the number of troops brought back to the United States during January by American vessels and included the battleships and cruisers in transport service. These figures do not include the troops brought back in ships belonging to other nations. So that's informing us and letting us know, even out of all those, right? Besides those, there were other ships from other nations, not just one other nation. It said nations. There were other ships from other nations that were also bringing the people over that way. They say troops. So we say some everybody. what they need all those troops for? They did have a lot of those troops doing what? Slaughtering our people, killing our people. So they had all these people. Damn, wait a minute. I'm trying to figure out what they talking about. Now, we know they brought all these people in around that time. We know what happened earlier in 1889, the brother reminded us. 1889, they did the fair, all this stuff was going on. So we already know what people here. Remember, they were talking about it was vagabonds and thieves and shit. So it was people that were way over here, right? Just been greedy vegan. What vegan talking about? Okay, bro say I got them before them. Okay, y'all on it then. All right, bro, I'm gonna leave it to y'all, so I don't gotta pay attention to them freaking idiots. That's so annoying when they be doing that. Oh, you had to turn on the chat. You didn't see it. Okay, bro. I'll make sure I'm watching too, just in case y'all miss it or something, because that's crazy when they be doing that. Okay, so anyway, look at this, y'all. So they say, like I said, they had many other nations. All these other nations, right, were bringing in these troops. They were bringing them in by the thousands and thousands, with all the nations coming in. Then the Navy troops, as you see, 97,000. Oh, excuse me. Sip some more tea. Gotta get my voice and my mind right today. Shit, I had to get. I had to get something for my mind, brain activation tea, because yesterday I was like distraught, going through a whole bunch of stuff with my sinuses, putting pressure on my head, literally suffocating me out my brain, like literally tripping. Too much stuff going on. All right, so anyway, let's get to it. It says 97,039 passengers were returned to the United States by ships of cruiser and transport force. This was during January. Of this number, 12,000 were carried by the cruisers and 7,500 by battleships, and needed a total capacity. The vessels arrived was 105,593 then. These people something else. Okay, they got something over here. Let's see what we want to find in here with these people was doing. It said the board to review the records of all Army flying officers. So appointed to pass upon qualifications. This talking about what they were doing. The people, the date only pursued the fighting pilots have received any recognition. So they did have pilots at that time. So they were flying. Okay, this was the 18. This was in the 1800. This was in the 1900. Okay, so they were flying. So I have had a great many success in this talking about the military war. Let's see what else. Let's go down. Let's see what else we're gonna find in these papers back then. Watch the soldier patience. Everything in the paper is talking about the soldiers and the war and what was going on here. Oh, they was trading and this, and this. Let's get about some import and exports. Total of United States import and exports given by the world's grand divisions. This might be interesting. Let's see what they're talking about. Mind you guys, this is official United States bulletin. Friday, February the 7th of 1919. Okay. It says the official United States bulletin, just to give you a little background on this paper since we're here. It was published every weekday, except on legal holidays under the order of the President of the United States and the authority of their Congress, right? Where it was printed out of, I'm assuming, the White House, 8 Jackson Place, Washington, D.C. Tel Maine 5600 was their telephone number. Wow, they had some little crazy numbers, right? Copies of the official United States bulletin will be furnished without charge to every post office in the United States to be posted daily for the benefit of the public under order of the Postmaster General. So, the Postmaster General was on their ass. Check this out. Now, do y'all remember the videos that I have been showing you guys? No vinegar in your house. The brother showed a video. Brother, drop your link of that video, Anuki. Put your link of the video that you did on the vinegar dispensing the chemtrails outside, brother. Would you put it in a link? Please drop it in a link for me. Or if you can, maybe share it on the screen. Come up, share this. Let me put the link out there in case you want to come up and do that. You could definitely come up and share it. I want them to see how you did that experiment. Or drop the link. If you could drop the link, that's fine. Or come up and share it so we can show them that, brother, because he's saying no vinegar in his house, but it definitely worked. Yes, bro, the world grand division. You heard that shit, right? And check it out. And it said that the Postmaster General is the one that told them they had to post this. So this paper, this is an official bulletin paper. This isn't a newspaper like that was passed around or passed out or given out. This is a paper that the Postmaster General had them write as a United States postal bulletin from the United States, from the White House. They had to post a bulletin daily to let them know and let the world know everything that was going on. Everything must not be private. At that time, they had to show what they were doing. and they made them show it. So they told them they had to come post this bulletin up every day in the post office. So if anybody was interested, they can go to the post office and read this bulletin. Think it's a game. Now, as you see, Mark Christopher, the one I've been showing you guys the videos of, and he's giving you guys so much information as far as taking yourself out of this BS. He is the official lead postmaster general judge, magistrate over everything, over all the other countries, everything. He's the one that made them move the flags from in front of the Queen's Castle and all these fake ass people that was doing all this treacherous stuff. He's the one that was in charge of that. Okay. So these people have been making sure, they have been watching these people, even though they've been doing certain things, they have let certain things go on. I don't know why, how, when, or what, but they are aware of these things. So that's another good thing. So to the legislative and executive offices of the United States government and to the diplomatic representatives of all the foreign governments, Edward S. Rochester was the editor. So he had to put all this information out, right? Okay. So it says that milk and pork, milk and pork, two nasty ass shits. Okay, it says right here, total of the United States imports and exports given by the World's Grand Division. Exactly, the World's Grand Division. Bro was like, what is that? Like, that stood out to me too, bro. The Grand Division, what they come out? It said the total value of merchandise imported from and exported to the World Grand Divisions during December and the 12 months ended December of 1918 compared with corresponding periods of the preceding year are made public by the Bureau of Foreign and Domestic Commerce of the Department of Commerce as follows. Ooh, check this out. Let's see what they add. Look at these damn people. Look at them. Look at all this money. look what they were doing. I just I just don't get it. When I say this tea, guys, I made a tea. I was like so disoriented yesterday, and today I was feeling that I thought I balanced myself. I ate a nice salad and put some things in yesterday. It did help me, but this morning I was still feeling a little disorientated. So check this out. This morning, after feeling like that, I was doing the SEAMOSS and I did additives. So I had a few things that I said, well, let me make me a tea for my brain. So I made the brain tea. See, this is the tea. It's a loose leaf. I do loose leaf tea sometimes. So I made a brain function tea. And I do sell these guys on my website, akrangersnaturalnature.com, or you can hit me Sister Soul Main Radio at Gmail. And I'll get it to you, with a discount. But yeah, it's definitely helped me. I was like so off. Oh my gosh, I feel so much better right now. But yeah, either way. The grand divisions, the imports from Europe, North America, South America, Asia, Oceania, wherever the hell that is. I've never heard of that. Africa. The grand divisions, the exports to, this is from the United States, to Europe, to North America, to South America, to Asia, Oceania, and Africa once again. All right. So they imported $210,978,000 worth of stuff in December, and they exported 500, more than double, almost 3 times the amount. They exported 566,007,113. Okay, that's like extreme. Damn, that shit's crazy. And it's triple everywhere. If you see, everything that they brought in was less than what they took out. So it shows you right here. This is what they brought in, right? This is everything they brought in, because they useless ass ain't had shit that the United States needed. They brought all this stuff in to 210 million. 566 million went out. Then in 1917, 227,911,497 came in, and 6,135,000 went out. It's almost triple. And then in 1918, the same thing, 3,031,000 came in, 6 million, double, went out. Here in 1917 again, it's showing 2,932,000, and that's what came in, and what went out was 6,233. That shit is crazy. Why are they shipping all the stuff out? What they do with it? Why they got all our shit everywhere? Why is all our stuff everywhere? That's what I be wanting to know. Milk and pork export licensed to France now freely granted. Who the hell want their pork? See, they start bringing all that shit over here. We didn't have none of that. We didn't eat none of that disgusting stuff. Proceedings of the Congress in the United States briefly told. This is something that was talked about after participated. Okay, the House consideration of the naval appropriation, the bill continuation until the late hour last night. The House agreed to the increase of the enlisted personnel of the Navy, 225,000. Showing all these that were enlisted. Okay, list of transports and Army units sailing from France to the United States. The War Department authorized publication of the following information. The cruiser Huntington sailed from the Brest February 4th and is due to arrive in New York on February the 15th with the following troops. So they brought this is showing all the troops they brought into New York to start the slaughter of our people that were in that area, right? Are you guys seeing this? Man, this is like overwhelming to me. I remember, so the Grand Division was given Tennessee. Yeah, he's the planetary judge. Exactly. Yeah, they were given Tennessee. You see all this? This is like crazy. Hold on, what is this saying about the rivers and harbors over here? Let me get back to this page. It's saying, let me put this down a little bit. Let's see if I can. This right here is saying, Director General Hines of the Railroad Administration concluded his statement before the Interstate Commerce Committee, and the spokesman of the railroad labor organizations began the discussion of the proposed railroad legislation today before the committee. The Secretary Baker was a witness before the Buildings Committee that is investigating the Chicago Speedway Hospital project. Chicago Speedway Hospital project. He discussed general questions, but had no knowledge of the details of this transaction, as he was abroad at the time. The Commerce Committee at the solicitation of the Senator Calder, incorporation and amendment in the Rivers and the Harbors Appropriation Bill authorizing a survey of the practicability of a seagoing ship canal between the Great Lakes and the Hudson River. So this is when they started this seagoing ship canal, or importing in the canal there in Chicago. The same committee designated that the Senators Calder, Ransnell, and Shepard of the committee to investigate the differences in cost between the operation of American ships and those of other maritime countries. So why are they all operating together? Because why are they saying ships, all these ships, there's no war. There's no warship. These were all trading ships. What war? Anything that has to do with war. When they say it's a war, we know that's a damn lie. We know what they're really doing is trading, right? Okay. The Propaganda Committee had a session to arrange, and it's planning for continuing its work under the enlarged authority recently granted. Albert Rise Williams, a writer recently returned from Russia and who addressed the meeting in Washington, condemned in a Senate debate Tuesday of this week. He was summoned as a witness. He demanded that he be heard in open session. He was told to hold himself, hold on, let's go up here, to hold himself in readiness to appear upon the call of the committee. The Banking Committee postponed until next Tuesday consideration of the nomination of John Skelton Williams. He was to be the controller of the currency. Acting Chairman Hitchcock stated that a number of witnesses opposed to the reappointment of Mr. Williams and had asked to be heard. So the testimony in the connection with the inquiry into the packing industry was continued before the Agricultural Committee with Henry Vender. The counsel for the Swift and Company on the stand, he admitted that certain campaign contributions have been made by the packing concerns in congressional campaigns. Didn't we talk about this yesterday? Then we talk about how it was saying how these people in the laws, this is during World War I. Check out the Grand Division. Yeah, sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Says say that, say that, say that. Yeah, World War One. Is that World War One time, brother? I told you I invest in history. World War One was around what, the 1920s? So yeah, this is 1990. So this is like around that time, I would assume, right? This shit crazy. So let's get back into this. I was about to skip this page too. Tell some more on their juicy ass stories and lies. Where was I at? The House agreed to increase da da da. Okay, we did just read that. So that was that particular part. So they didn't say much more about it. Damn, I'm mad they didn't get to it. Okay. List of transports and army units sailing from France for United States. So is this another part of that? Let's see, transport, da da da. They talking about all these people that came in. God dang, it's saying everything. 54th Decimination train. They saying the train, how many people was on there. Godly. This, that, all that information. They ass gonna get it. Oh, y'all be trying to lie and steal and, like sis say, embezzle. And Secretary Glass transmitted to the House of War Department deficiency estimated at $350,000 for the purchase of additional land for the Walter Reed Hospital. Dang. The Foreign Affairs Committee modified the Gallagher Resolution on Ireland and ordered it reported. Wasn't the guy Mind Unveiled, the one that just we watched the video yesterday, and we just watched another video today? He's getting a lot of information. Man, that brother pulls it through. We like our pale brothers, the ones that give us that truth and shit, right? So check this out. This right here is talking about Ireland. He was talking about all the ties to Ireland. Remember what he was saying in the video, guys? I can't recall everything, guys. I'll be trying to make sure I keep it intact, but I can only do so much. But if y'all remember, he was talking about this. So as this modified the resolution in the states, that it is the hope of the Congress of the United States of America that the peace commissioners now sitting in Paris and passing upon the rights of various people will favorably consider the claims of Ireland to the right of self-determination. Yo, what they talking about? Ireland to the right of self-determination. Why would they need the right of self-determination? Were those the Aboriginal Ireland people, even in the 1900s? What they say? Did I say Calder? I'm not sure, bro. They use the wars to hide the crime, right? It's about the army and the divisions, right? Man, you said, did I say Calder? Was it on this part? Let me see, brother. Let me see if I saw something about a name Calder. I see where we're at over there. Let's see. Brother said, did I say Calder? I was reading, but I don't remember. I think I did say, let's just check real quick. I can check what I read. Yep, here it go right here. It says the same committee designated Senators Calder. Yep, Senator Calder. It was Senator Calder. What's up with the Calder, bro? Put it out there. What it is. It said Calder, bro, right there. It says Senator Calder, Senator Ransdale, and Senator Shepherd as a subcommittee to investigate the differences in the cost between the operation of American ships and those other maritime countries. The maritime countries. Yes, Calder, brother. What's up? What info you got on the Calder? What you say? What you say? I want to know. I ain't going nowhere till you say it. You said that I say Calder. So does that mean you got something to say about that? But we finished reading this because I want to get into this. I want to know. We ain't gonna leave nothing uncovered. What's up? What you got to say about it? Let's see if he typing. All right, give it a minute. We're gonna go back to this. So this is crazy, right? So it says the Ireland had for the right of self-determination. So it says that the Agricultural Committee agreed upon a bill giving the president authority to create a new agency or utilize some existing agency to maintain the government's guaranteed price of $2.26 for the 1919 wheat crop. The bill proposed a revolving fund of $1 million. Hold on. Are they saying that the tribe agreed to this shit? Didn't the brother just say that yesterday when we were in the chat? Didn't one of the brothers tell us that the Indians are the ones that allowed them to come over here? Come on, y'all. What is going on right now? The Gallagher states are in South Africa. Okay, but what does that have to do with the Calder? Senator Calder here. It's saying something about it was saying something about in California. It says, let's see. The resolution of Senator Weeks went to the calendar where it can only be called again before the Senate by direct vote. It says Senator Johnson of California made an unnecessary effort to call up his resolution, declaring it to be the sense of the Senate that American troops should be immediately revealed from Russia. And then all that had to do with the Calder dude. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what they got to do with that. But okay, let me move on. I don't like to get stuck. I don't know if that's distraction or what's going on, but let's get to it. List of transports in the Army units sailing from France and the United States. So it's saying everything, transports, everything that was coming in, how many men, women, where they came from, officers. It's showing you if they were from California, this one and that one, blah, blah, blah. We don't got to get into that because that's a lot. And let's see, Dr. Farran, executive head of the American Red Cross. What was they doing? More thieves and freaking perverts, but that's another story. Texas Fuel Administration orders suspended all fuel regulations except in 3 specified instances. Okay. So the United States Fuel Administration issued the following. The United States Fuel Administration, acting under the authority of an executive order of the President of the United States, dated on August 23rd, 1917, appointing said administration and of subsequent executive orders and for forbearance of the purpose of said orders and the act of Congress therein referred to and the approved August the 10th, 1917, hereby orders the directors. Okay, Section 1. That all rules, regulations, orders, or proclamations except these enumerated in Section 2 of this order, hereto issued or I can't hold on. This kind of blurred out. Promulgated. I think it's promulgated by or under authority of the President of the United States, or by or under the authority of the United States Fuel Administration, fixing the prices of coal, coke. Listen to this. It said coke. Y'all see this, right? Fixing the prices of coal, coke, charcoal, or wood, or regulating the production, sale, shipment, distribution, appropriation, apportionment, storage, or use thereof, or requirement, the obtaining of a license to engage in or carry on the business and distribution of coal or coke, or establishing rules and regulations in respect to the holders of such licenses, or otherwise carrying out the purpose or the provisions of the act of the Congress hereunto. Hold on. Hereunto referred to, and the operation and the effect of such rules, regulations, orders, or proclamations. B, and the same hereby are suspended until further or under order and orders of the premise by the President of the United States, said the United States Fuel Administration or other agency created by the President, agency created Fuel Administration or other agency that was created by the President under said act. So he made the executive order. Once he made the executive order, he said, hold on, let me get some shit together. I'm about to make these agencies. Let me get the FBI. Let me get me the CIA. Let me get this other shit, right? So boom, you see where it said up here, the coke and coal. So he had to make regulations to get these certain organizations, or as he said, the President of the United States and the President's said act in all respect for coal and coke and charcoal or wood production to be sold, shipped, and distributed. So the president, from January 31st, 1919, he took on all responsibility, and his said members, CIA, FBI agents, whatever agency he called, whatever he made, whatever ones he distributed. It said that he made them. It said he made his damn agency shit. He created them. I ain't making this shit up. That's what they said, right? That's what it said. It said this man made up some damn agencies. Once he made up the agencies, he said, hold on, y'all can't do no coke. Y'all can't distribute no coal. Y'all can't distribute this. I'm about to rule all this with my agencies. And y'all slow down because I might want to be trading over there with the people that we call the Arabs. Once we do all that, I can get that money on the side. Come on now. Y'all see this? They putting it right in your face. And they had to put it up there and they see what was going on. Bro, say, let me see what you saying, bro. The Grand Divisions of the Globe called the Philadelphia Anthony Finley 1900 Constitution. I don't know the death match and everything. Whoa. Dang. Send me the link. Send me the link. Send me the link. Yeah, I got some fire maps, bro. I ain't gonna even lie. I don't even want to get into the map because I'll be showing all kind of stuff. I got maps that show the grid lines, show the solar lines, how they connect all this. That's why I be telling y'all they had the World Wide Web. Everything's connected. All the NIST, the tech, all this stuff is penetrating through you. And man, on to that subject. Okay. Wow. It said the following rules, regulations, orders, and proclamations shall continue in full force, and effect under the further order or orders by the premises. Order to say United States Fuel Administration dated on the 17th of January, they said. It says that the regulations relative to the making of contracts for the sale of coal or coke by operations, producers, jobbers, sales agents, or the purchasing agents of coal or coke. Order of the said United States Fuel Administration dated on November the 6th of 1917, entitled Order relative to Tidewater transshipment of coal at the Hampton Roads, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, and for the employment and the cooperation. And the cooperation with the Underwater Coal Exchange, so called, as a common agency to the transshipment, okay, and to reduce delays in the use of the coal cars and the coal carrying the vessels. It says that all rules, regulations, orders, and proclamations, in so far as much rules, regulations, orders, or proclamations confer upon or delegate and to the said United States Fuel and Administration, which is one of the president's companies, right? The ones that he administrated and for his own demise. Either individually or acting through that governmental and the organization called the United States, acting through that, listen, that governmental organization. It's a governmental organization. It's just an organization. It's a company of court called the United States Fuel Administration. Why is it the United States Fuel Administration? And is controlled by a one corp. This is a different corp, all part of the same entity under the same umbrella. Any powers or authority for the carrying out of the purposes of the act of the Congress here and above referring to. So why would the Congress have to refer to the Fuel Administration Department? Because they're under the same corporation, the same corp. Peace to the chat. Go to the drugstore and get you some Coke Beautiful Art Deco rings with compartments for Coca-Cola ring and real thing. What? What are you talking about, Suzanne? Peace and love. Isn't 1834 the Emancipation Proclamation? I'm not sure the date, brother. Don't get me the line. I'll tell you a lie if you ask me a date about this historical bullshit, because I don't pay no attention to none of it. I just look at facts, things I find out. I reference date when I'm looking at something particularly, but I don't know, honey. I don't care what they be saying, but please let us know if it's a reference to this. It says, order of the said United States Fuel Administration. This was dated on the 31st, so we know what they did. So, Seals proposal. Let's see, the Marine Corps. We don't care about no more of them right now. Let's see what else we can dig out in a few of these papers. The United States Fuel Administration having an order dated. Here goes something else they did. Define producer and regulating a consignment of bituminous coal at the mine. So they were stopping people from mining. How y'all gonna come tell somebody what the hell? Oh my goodness. Separate hospitals for shell shot returned soldiers. Mm-hmm. They were treated as insane as planned by the as planned. Let's look at this. It says shell shot and returned soldiers were treated as insane and planned by the Surgeon General's office. That's what they said. I ain't said it. They said it. The War Department authorized the following statement from the Office of the Surgeon General. The clearly defined policy of the Medical Department of the Army from the beginning of the war has been indifferential carefully between the nervous and the so-called shell shock cases and those of the insane or usually affected, and to treat the two classes in separate institutions. Disposition of incurable cases. Incurable cases, those in which the treatment is practically certain to extend beyond 4 months, are sent to St. Elizabeth Hospital as provided by the Army regulations. St. Elizabeth Hospital is under the Department of the Interior. The St. Elizabeth Hospital is under the Department of the Interior. Why is that? And it's beyond the jurisdiction of the Surgeon General of the Army. The misconception embedded in the population idea of the shell shock. Okay, need to sharp distinction. Okay, hold on. Liability of mistakes. Okay, blah, blah, blah. For important about the government activities. For information about all government activities, apply to the Service Bureau of the Committee of Public Information. So there's a Committee of Public Information. This should still be, active now. I mean, these numbers, obviously, they don't have these type of phone numbers, but it should be, why would the government change? This should be active. We should be able to get any damn information we want right from them, is what they saying. Review of operating results of the federalized railroads contained in the annual report of the Director General. Difficulties in export freight at North Atlantic terminals. Oh, okay. Let's see. In the chapter of his annual report devoted to operating results, the Director General of the Railroad says, in part, in order to understand the operating problems presenting themselves with the inauguration of federal control, it will be necessary to recount some of the potent causes producing the serious conditions and the congestions which resulted in the railroads being taken over by the federal government. And our immense, the railroads being taken over by the federal government. What they say? They say they built some shit. What this paper say? They took it over from our people. That's what it said. It's telling you right there. Tell me it ain't just say that. Who don't see that it just said that? Who don't see that it just said that? Come on. They made the American dream. Oh, right. Oh, shit, right, sis. Yes, it had real Coca-Cola, had real cocaine in it. It was all legal. And so the president says, shit, I'm about to make me some organizations, make me the FBI, the CIA, the this, the that. Once he makes these organizations, what can he do now? Now, he's going to be able to make the organizations work for him. Therefore, the distribution of drugs in operation therein too, right? Right. Coca-Cola first sold in pharmacy. Exactly. So was heroin. Bayer, do you guys know that Bayer, the Bayer aspirin company, they used to sell heroin? Heroin was also legal. Like all these drugs, all type of opioids. Opium from China, that was legal. Yeah. I'm sorry, sis. I didn't know what you were saying. I'm like, sis saying something. I don't know what she's saying. I was trying to get it. I'm glad you brought me back, baby. Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis. Appreciate it. Yes. All that. You see how they showing and telling on what they was doing? Yep. Man, you be done. Yep. Say it, sis. Yep. Everybody hooked, easy to control. Everybody docile. Zombies walking around this bee. Like they trying to make people permanent zombies with that jab, right? That's what they trying to do. That part. Right. That part. Let's finish reading some more of this. Man, they telling a whole lot. Let's see. It says the accumulation of export freights on North Atlantic terminals, which was reflecting itself immediately and an inability to successfully handle domestic freight. So this is showing right here. When they be talking about that Atlantic trade, freight, slave trade, and this, and that, what is this talking about, y'all? Come on, man. I got to do part 2 on this. I can't even keep going on this right now, y'all. We're going to have to come back because it's been 3 hours. And this right here, we only on page 8. So, they about to give a lot in this newspaper. I'm going to come back with part 2 of this. I'm going to change the title and add, I didn't know I was going to read this. I was going to play the videos and be done. But we're going to definitely come back with this. I don't want this video to be too long because there's a lot of information here. And as you know, I've been shadow banned. Most people are not even getting my notifications. What I suggest you guys do is turn off your notification and then press all on notifications to do it again. Like just turn it off and then select to get all notifications. That way you'll be able to get the notifications because it's peeing me off. Man, tell me about it, brother. I had so many issues or whatever going on. They hiding out notifications. They got agents going against me, starting stuff in the community. It's all kind of weird stuff going on. So I'm just like filling it out. But I'm still going to do me. Y'all already know I'm going to be back later. We're going to definitely finish up. I'm going to leave the page open and I'm going to leave it highlighted so I know exactly where we're at. We're about to get into this railroad information and all that this afternoon because this is getting wild. It's getting real wild. And we're a little over 3 hours. I got to keep it short. So the information is out there. We'll do another video a little bit later. Make sure y'all just be checking to see if I'm live because you already know. Thank you, sis. Because you already know I'm not gonna be able to make sure y'all get the notifications. They gonna do what they do. It is what it is. Yes, sis, yes. Peace, love, blessings. You can do anything for anybody today, guys. Make sure you're doing that. Even if it's a smile, something to drink, a little food, maybe treat some stranger to lunch. I don't know. Do something good for somebody. Give a smile. And make sure y'all tuning in later because I'm not going to even read any of this till I get back with y'all later. I've been over this before. I had this for a couple of years, but I was looking at other information, not the things that I'm looking at now. So it's definitely something. Honors to you too, babe. Honors, honors, honors. Yes, PCP, that angel dust. Somebody put angel dust in a cigarette and gave it to my uncle. I wasn't born yet, but my mom told me about it. Gave it to my uncle. He literally jumped through a barbershop window. So that was a very horrible drug, back in the 60s. But yeah, I definitely am gonna be doing part 2 on this today, y'all. Make sure y'all tune in because this is gonna be really good. We're gonna get into all of this right now. This is too much, too much, too much. That is right, brother. You're right. Disease cannot stay in the alkaline body. You got to make sure, follow that white rabbit, the Energizer Bunny. They show you all the time that Energizer Bunny that gives you all the energy. The white rabbit, eating like a rabbit. All right, guys. Peace, love, blessings, and everything till later. Yeah, we're out.